You can't be smooth and react.
Starting the reaction off with a freestyle is hilarious, by the way. I'm gonna put that out there in the hemisphere.
Yeah, music videos.
Please don't tell the stories. Oh, that is the most 90s scenario I have ever heard.
I saw a video on MTV once upon a time.
I'm sick. DIYers, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Curtis King Reacts, featuring a special guest today, the homie Jay Kasai. We're not on camera quite yet, but I want to make sure everything is straight before we do.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and look on your side of things, what y'all see. Ooh, are music videos still relevant? Are they irrelevant? We're going to get to so much of that and more. I think you guys are going to really enjoy the topics that we have here. Shout out to every single one of you. Oh, yes. Yes. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time. Hey. I feel like Joe Budden want to do that. Jay Kasai, what's good, bro?
What's the deal?
I never know what to look at. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never know what camera to look at when it's just me. So I end up looking right dead in the camera. How you doing, by the way, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good.
Turn this music down a little bit as you over here yelling.
I don't know if I need my mic up a little higher or not.
You might just need... You're all good, love. Nas tried to break in here real quick. He's like, are we on today? Try now.
Mic check.
Also, you can bring it a little bit closer to you too if needed.
Mic check.
1, 2. Yeah. Shout out to Genesee or Genocide. How you doing? Let me know where you're reporting from. Let me know if you can hear everything on your end well before we get started. As we know, we had some technical difficulties in my last live stream. I do not want to repeat. Even though, shout out to Mediocre Reviews for dropping by. Shout out to Young Guru for dropping by in the last live stream. That is nuts, bro.
That's special.
That's nuts.
Guru.
I was trying to stay in my host mode, and I'm like trying to get the questions to the A&R, and I seen that name. I was like, that must be a different kind of guru.
That's a real estate guru or something.
That's like younger guru. That's what that was. Younger guru.
Man.
Khan, what's the deal? Produced by Meth. Foolish G, what's the deal? They really cost too much. See, this is how I know when we got a good topic. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down actually. This is how I know we got a good topic. Let me go ahead and put some of these on the screen so you can see what I see. You know we got a good topic whenever people start offering their information before we even got started talking about it.
Oh, he triggered already.
He already triggered. He was like, hold on, wait a minute. He said they really cost too much to make what it does to your career overall, which is crazy because you and I just had a question about, not a question, but a conversation about shooting visuals for you. For those that don't know who you are and what you do, kind of give them a little bit of a tidbit so they know the information is valid, especially if this is one of my folks. This is somebody I go to whenever I want to like bounce ideas off of and just really get into the mind of another artist that I trust. But let them know.
What up, DIYers? It's your boy Jay Kasai, fellow DIYer as well.
Yes, sir.
Music artist, rap artist, engineer, cinematographer. I got Jay Kasai TV as well, where we've collaborated in the past on that channel as well.
That's right.
Where I do talk shows, interviews, podcasts, music videos. You name it, I'm doing a little bit of something, and it feels good to be here in this bag, in this platform.
We've been talking about doing it for some time, and I feel like we have these conversations offline a lot. And I'm going to move this a little bit. We have these conversations offline a lot, and I was like, man, at some point we got to jump here in the live stream, and we got to really have one of these conversations. I'm trying to move myself, but I'm all over the place. Okay, we should be good now. But I feel like these topics, we finna cook today. We finna cook. As somebody else that's also an independent artist, as somebody else that has so much information and so much experience in doing this, as all the things that he lined up saying, I think that these topics are gonna really set it off well. What's good, Low Frequency? Another beast. He is another DIY beast. Shout out Low Frequency. No Limit Kid, Khan. I'm finally able to catch a live. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Usually we start at 4, but I got some content that I'm shooting tonight. Some of the first content that you're going to be seeing on the DIYer Music Network. I'm interviewing somebody that you interviewed recently, the homie Stevie Crooks. And man, he has a phenomenal project that he actually invited me to come on and do narration for. So with that said, can I see some DIY emojis? I already see Frank the Tank is already taking it over. Can we see some DIY emojis in it? Can we get that going one time? Just so I know I'm surrounded by folks that understand what it's like to be an independent artist in 2023. That understand all the things that come along with it. So there we go. Ryan said, I can't find that one that y'all got, but I'm gonna put a hammer down there. That's fine too.
Pause.
Hey, yo, I forgot I'm here with you. Hey, yo, I put the hammer down. It's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank. Yeah, see, I'm gonna stop talking around. You know what? No stories today. I'm done. This is fun. Thank y'all for joining us now. But with that said, I got 3 stories that I think y'all gonna find a whole lot of interest in. The first one is obviously the one that you guys see in the thumbnail, where it's basically talking about, are music videos irrelevant in 2023? There's a video that I saw some time ago, and I just kind of held it for myself because it's one of them where I wasn't doing reaction videos when I first heard it, but it's a guy who gives some really great music marketing advice. He went in on this topic. That's the first one. Also, the second story, G Perico, who is a force out here on the West Coast, hip hop artist that has done so many amazing things independently, but he has had some business with these majors, with these keep the suits out the booth, them folks. And he talks about why record deals are predatory loans, because we've heard people say that, but he kind of explained the details of it, and then also kind of how he maneuvered his way through it. Also, too, last but not least, Damian Keys, which is another huge name here on YouTube. He actually has a lot of great gems for how to improve your live shows. So for those of you that are independent artists looking to improve your live shows, I'm looking at my hip hop artists, because right now we're not having the easiest year, right? A lot of fans are like, we need more. How do you feel about that, just in general? I know we're gonna get into that, but like, how do you feel about like the state of live shows? Obviously, being an artist that does live shows.
I got a lot of opinions.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I think that the platform for live shows as an up and coming DIYer, there's not a lot of platforms available, and I think that it limits you to. So, for example, locally in this scene around here, you pretty much go through 1 or 2 people if you want to do a live show.
Facts. Then
you get to the live show, and the next question is, what kind of show do you get as a fan or spectator when you get to these shows? What is the experience, and what are the pros and cons of it versus, because on the flip side, it's you go to a giant show where you bought a reseller ticket, and then, I mean, you've covered this concept already, or this topic already, but you go to these big shows and you go, did I get my money's worth here or there?
Bro, it's been very rarely that I walk away from a show and I feel like this is my money's worth.
Right.
Which is, and that goes across the board. Even when I went to go see Green Day, it wasn't so much, the performance from Green Day was phenomenal. It was one of my first rock shows I ever went to years and years back. But it was like, I don't know what I expected. I don't know if I wanted, I'm not really wowed by the fireworks and all that other crazy shit that you see. It's like, when you don't hear your songs, it kind of changes the expectations. When your song gets truncated, and it's like, well, I waited through the whole catalog, and this is what I got introduced to. It's kind of like, the experience itself. I took my sister one time to her first show, and she was in love with Green Day, and she's like, oh my God, thank you for taking me. She was happy. So that was worth it. But there's a lot of shows I go to where I'm like, I'm glad I had tickets from the homies, or I'm glad the homies were performing and I can get in here. But every once in a while, you catch somebody who just, from the first second of their live show, they did not come to play. Like, for instance, as an artist, independent artist named Prof from Minnesota.
I know Prof.
Bro, our Minneapolis, bro, his live show, I remember going on tour with him in MERS, and I had never seen a live show that was like that. And so that kind of opened my eyes up to like, bro, there's so much more we can do with just us and a DJ. That having a DJ makes a big deal as well.
It does.
We're going to talk about that, but I want to make sure we get to this first one, which, my. So I already see some of you already have some opinions about, are music videos relevant? Are they not relevant anymore? Matter of fact, we're going to actually, no, I'm going to hold that off. Let me know your opinions here in the chat. Do you feel like music videos are still relevant? Do you feel like they're irrelevant? we're going to watch a few reaction videos that are talking about kind of the state of not just music videos, but the VMAs were here recently. And I don't know if y'all knew, but the VMAs this year probably had one of the lowest ratings that it ever had.
The real question is, did any of y'all watch it?
I know. Fam, the VMAs was on TV Guide. I'm looking at TV Guide and I'm like, I could watch it. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit on the computer.
I'll probably hear from Twitter what happened if somebody do some wild shit.
Right, which you digging into
That's a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's hold off on it then.
Yeah.
But DIYers, if you are ready, we're gonna jump right into it. The journey is more important than the destination. I hear that, Mosquito Giant. Music videos are not irrelevant because many artists are discovered by them. Also, many artists make music videos for TikTok. Interesting point of view. We're going to get into it. We can get into it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this first story, DIY.
DIY.
Okay, DIYers. So I saw this clip some months ago from 701 Max. He is a music marketing specialist. He drops a lot of great gems. I don't know, have you ever come across?
No, I haven't seen him before.
So the videos he does really break down like practical things that artists can do to improve their career or even to look at things in a whole nother light. In this clip, he talks specifically about music videos and he has some interesting things that I think you're gonna you might like it, you might not like it, but he comes in hot from second zero.
He's polarizing.
Another dollar shooting music videos that
Let me get it back again. I hate when it does that, but yeah.
Another dollar shooting music videos that no one is gonna watch. The whole idea that you need to shoot a music video for every song you release is old, no longer works, and is the fastest way to blow through your budget. If you're working with less than $1,000 per song, or even if you have $10,000 to release your project, by the industry standards, that means that you don't got no money. So wasting money on videos that get you nowhere is no longer in the question. The new method of putting out music is simple. Drop the audio first, shoot 5 to 10 mini music videos on your phone, make these videos between 10 seconds and 1 minute long, post them on all platforms, especially TikTok, then evaluate the feedback you get from this content. If the people ask you for more of a certain song and they ask you for a video, give it to them. If you're a rapper, the video should look like this.
Over your fingertips, I can get rid of it.
If you sing, the video should look like this.
Mommy don't know that it's getting hot.
And if you make music in general, then you should follow me to learn more about how you can stay independent in the new music business.
Talk about it. Okay, so we're gonna go back through this video. We're gonna pause it a few seconds. One more time.
Let's do it.
Don't waste another dollar shooting music videos that no one is gonna watch.
Sheesh.
The whole idea that you need to shoot a music video for every song you release is old, no longer works, and is the fastest way to blow through your budget.
Jake Asai, as a videographer yourself, who obviously charges music or artists and music producers for video content, how do you feel about hearing that?
He's on to something real heavy about the blow in the budget part.
Yeah.
But here's how I think a lot of artists are adjusting.
Okay.
They're going, I'm not getting the payout when I invest this much money.
Right.
And a lot of them are taking liberty into buying their own camera and stuff like that and trying to shoot themselves, which is not the route most of them should go.
So you talking about music videos shot slow motion, shot in 24 frames per second? Talking about that kind of work?
Yeah. Or maybe they're trying to cut corners and go with someone who's just starting,
right?
Who's doing what you just said also.
Yeah.
He's onto something there.
So, and I wonder how many artists are actually quantifying what that money invested actually reaped in benefits, and how do you quantify that? Is it just the viewership? Is it just the feedback? Is it seeing the streams go up? And can you properly hunt down and measure what sparked that off? Because it could be a number of things, right? Somebody shares your content who has a bigger platform that could easily boost your numbers.
Yeah.
But running through the budget is crazy because I know a lot of artists, especially our peers, bro, we did so many shows that were like, y'all paid 10 racks for this music video. And it was like, how much you spend on ads? Oh, I ain't worried about the ads, man. The music is crazy. That's the first part.
The music gonna speak for itself.
The music gonna speak for itself, head ass.
If you're working with less than $1,000 per song, or even if you have $10,000 to release your project, by the industry standards, that means that you don't got no money.
Sheesh.
So wasting money on videos to get you nowhere is no longer in the question.
He said, "Is that a soft spot?"
Mans came in there and said, $1,000. Nah, F that. $10,000. You ain't got shit. Hey, yo.
Jeez.
Hey, yo. So
I am hurt.
$10,000 is not nothing to just shit. A $10,000 drop in my account right now. That's gonna mean something to me,
We moving the needle.
right?
We moving the needle.
I'm about to invest in the performance room. I'm about to do some things with that 10,000. But in terms of a music video, I mean, I've worked with the directors, and I want to get your POV on this. Where $10,000 can be just 3 videos.
Yeah.
That could be 1 video, depending on who you're working with. And not only that, but I think something that we kind of assume is going to happen when we're shelving out that kind of money is that it's going to ensure people's professionalism. Now, when you're talking about blowing through the budget, nothing kills a budget faster than trying to pay for people to give work ethic they don't have or possess or want to give. They're not dedicated to it. They don't believe in your music. All they're looking at is this is just a business transaction, which, I mean, we've all been there in some level, but what's your point of view on that?
It's tough, as an independent artist, maybe with a limited budget, you put a lot of trust into the people you do delegate services to. A lot of trust, and it can make or break your morale. It can make or break a release. There's nothing worse than a video not coming out or a video coming out you're not proud of.
Yeah.
A video some people shelve. I know some pretty sensitive and passionate artists. They paid for a video.
Man.
That video never saw the light of day. So I can't imagine if I had a $10,000 budget, which is a lot for a DIYer, by the way, and then to drop, let's say, $2K on a video, and then you go, I don't even really want to promote this video.
That's the worst, because then you feel like you're obligated to it because you gave 3 racks.
Yeah, you spent.
And it's like, I don't want to eat that money and make it seem like it's an L, and it doesn't always have to be. But I think he's going to talk about something that is kind of, I guess, a modern solution. Even though this video was made 33 weeks ago, it's still crazy how relevant it is today. Right now, I should say.
The new method of putting out music is simple. Drop the audio first, shoot 5 to 10 mini music videos on your phone, make these videos between 10 seconds and 1 minute long, post them on all platforms, especially TikTok, then evaluate the feedback you get from this content. If the people ask you for more of a certain song and they ask you for a video, give it to them.
Research and development. Listening to I remember there was an entrepreneur that I heard that was giving advice, and he was like, from this day forward, I only want you to make fact-based decisions about anything that you're doing moving forward with money. Fact-based decisions based upon these facts that I have pulled from, based upon this information. This makes the most sense to do this.
Right.
And from what he's sharing, dropping the audio first, right? I think a lot of artists don't have any issues with that, right? They know how to screenshot a SoundCloud, which I feel like is still one of the worst things. You end up looking at some of these Instagram accounts and they look like brochures for SoundCloud. But dropping the audio first, which is basically just getting it out to all the distributors, maybe even if you have a Bandcamp, putting it up there, cool. Most folks still need something visual these days in order for it to even be a blip on their radar. Cool. So then he's saying make these vertical videos, these social media content videos, which I think is honestly a really dope way to stretch out the content offering that you're doing for one particular song. We talked about it too.
Absolutely.
Being able to have like 5 or 6 scenes that if you put it in a music video, I don't know how many music videos you watch where, I know you've seen one where it's just too many performance shots. And it's like, bro, I'm literally watching you figure out what next hand motion you want to give. I've made them and was like cringing at them now because I know better about B-roll, but at least when you do these clips, they're a lot less for somebody to have to like digest in the moment when they don't know who the hell you are.
Yeah, I mean, huge thing here. This is a very big, low risk, high reward system he's talking about here. Let's not drop 2 racks on the video and then pray we like it. Let's shoot some stuff that we had our buddy pick up the phone and film.
Right.
We didn't like it. Delete it. Do it again. You saw someone else do something similar. Emulate it. Add all these different versions. Release them all. They're on TikTok. This is short form content. It's going to get scrolled past in a year. What works, what doesn't work, let's replicate that. Let's build on that. And you're going to get a lot more benefit and reward for your labor and time going this way.
And I mean, think about a music video. You release a music video, you're going to end up cutting vertical versions of it just to put it on social media, just to give snippets. And really what you're doing is you're going about it a whole different way of giving the audience smaller portions that intrigue them to want to go to these other platforms. But what people fail to understand, especially when it comes to Facebook, which owns Instagram, versus Google, these niggas don't want people leaving their platforms for your music video. And you putting all that energy into the YouTube. Yes, they make it available for you to put links on there. That doesn't mean that they're going to prioritize you because their whole. You ever notice this where you leave a link on Instagram, the colors of Instagram are still surrounding it, right? The colorway, the fonts, whatever is still surrounding it. They're still saying like, I'm gonna let you go free, but you on a leash. You're gonna come back to this platform if you want to go ahead and check your messages. So when I see that, this is a way of saying, okay, how do I take the experience of these shorter clips, which it takes people nowadays, I think they said the new number, it used to be 7 times you have to see something before it's embedded in your memory. I think it's like 15 to 20 now, right? So you have 15 to 20 different vertical shots that are high quality that take the best portions of the song based upon the data that you got from the audio that you dropped. I believe Bandcamp has a retention bar on it that tells you what parts of the song people listen to the most. Yeah, that might be something to go ahead and dig into. So, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to end, and we're gonna get to the other clip as well.
Nah, you pretty much nailed it on the head. I think that a lot of us work backwards is what's happening.
Yeah,
we're doing the big boy video and then trying to cut it up and make the little stuff to bring them to it when you should have did the little micro content, right? And then make sure you have a reason to drop the 2Gs. Man, make sure there's a demand for it.
Especially when you think about the way that artists don't promote after a certain period of time and it just dies off. If you know you got 40 in the chamber, you know what I'm saying? If you know you got 40 clips for 2 songs, you're going to let those go. But if you got one music video, it's like, how many more ways can I present this performance shot?
Look, you preaching to...
Come on, man. Come on. So I'm going to let him finish this off real quick.
If you're a rapper, the video should look like this.
Over your fingertips, I can't get rid of it.
If you sing, the video should look like this.
Mommy don't know that it's getting hot.
What I think is interesting about this one, more so than the rapper one, is that although we can tell this is shot on a DSLR, I think what's really interesting is that TikTok, when you think about, what is it, Gen Z, they don't necessarily need the high-grade equipment. Matter of fact, some of them prefer it not to be high-grade. I heard the homie Ruslan say this one time, where there's a generation that actually trust content less when it's too produced. It's almost like, I compare it to like the plastic furniture in grandma's house. Like, don't touch it. It's too clean. I don't want.
This ain't for me.
It's not for me to be comfortable in. So, what did you have any thing that you want to add to it?
Nah, I think that's actually a really good thing to add on that. I think that you're right. I think that it can look almost like an ad. Have you noticed that ads are lowering their quality now? They're trying to look like a regular post now.
They give me all the time.
We engage with them.
They give me all the time. They're like, "Hey, bro, did you see this?" And I'm like, "No, that's an ad, bro. That's an ad. Y'all some ops. Nah, hell no, y'all some ops. I know an ad when I see it now, because it's the same like format where it's like 3-second hook. Then it's like show you something, B-roll. Then it comes back to this, and I'm like, your low grade content is still too produced, and I know
it's too formulaic, man." They had a 55-year-old video director. It's like, pick up the iPhone. Yep.
This is what the kids are doing these days. Oh, Chat GPT head ass.
And if you make music in general, then you should follow me to learn more about how you...
Hey, that's too much of a commitment.
All right, buddy.
That's too much. Like, you asking for a lot. I'm just playing. Shout out to 701 Max.
Yeah.
So, as an extension of that content, bro, I wanted to also get into this other clip that is from another YouTuber that I watch her content all the time. Is Naomi Cannibal. And she does some really dope, like, music industry content. And I've been wanting to react to her videos. Her video's a little bit longer, but I heard this, and it's funny because of the timing. She just dropped this video where she's talking about the impact of MTV and are VMAs still relevant. So when saying are the Video Music Awards still relevant, she has to obviously talk about if music videos are relevant.
Right.
So let's get into this clip real quick that I have timestamp and get your thoughts.
MTV started putting content on YouTube. They did have their own website where they would publish music news, music videos, and things of the like. TRL was actually canceled in 2007 because so many less people were watching the show because they were getting their music content online rather than from the television. And for a while, in that late 2000s, early 2010s timeframe, music videos were king online, especially on YouTube.
Man.
But now in the 2020s, it's become evident that people watch less music videos than they used to. That was not something that I realized was happening across the board until some of you guys mentioned it, but I have noticed that it's true for myself personally. And
Do you feel like you're watching less music videos these days, just personally?
Let me say this. I feel like I'm watching less videos from artists I'm not familiar with, for sure.
Wow.
There was definitely an era where I was watching videos for artists or songs I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeking and engaging with the ones from people or artists I'm familiar with.
Huh.
So I think that that's the huge difference.
I'll tell you this, for me, it's less of a rush. I see it when I see it.
Yeah.
When I say there's certain artists that I want to see the videos. Like I want to see them right when they drop, like Kendrick right now.
Absolutely. Kendrick's the perfect example.
Kanye, I just know he's going to do something that's like, I've never seen this combination of stimulants. But other than that, I don't want to see another music video where you emulating a scene from a 90s TV show and you got a great production team that put it all together.
Yeah.
And this is like that has been run into the mud at this point.
Yeah.
But that's what music videos have become. It's just like almost like a caricature of music videos.
Right. Yeah.
So,
a lot of remakes, a lot of satire, a lot of parody-esque.
yeah.
You're like, I could just go watch Martin instead.
It's a lot better too.
Yeah.
Y'all acting ain't on point like that.
I was reflecting on why I don't watch as many music videos anymore because, that's the sort of stuff I reflect on. And I think the simple answer is I just don't come across them as often or always feel as compelled to seek them out anymore. Like maybe 10 years ago was the last time I remember consistently watching video countdown shows. So then you're watching a bunch of music videos in that same time frame.
Right.
But now, rather than stumbling across music videos like used to be more common, you kind of have to seek them out.
Bro, I mean, the era of Rap City.
A beautiful time.
Like, bro, just
Beautiful time.
speak on that first, because I'm already getting visions now of like getting out of high school, and I had a homie that lived by the school. And we would go to his crib, and he would just throw Rap City on, and I would just see so many rappers that the internet wasn't what it is today. We're talking like 2002, 2001 for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this? I never heard of him on the East Coast, or this person over here, this person in the South. And it was like so many videos that you saw, and it was like just basically a shuffle of music videos. Bro, that brought so much inspiration to a young songwriter, rapper at the time as myself, because I'm getting a taste of all the different sounds. But what was your kind of experience with it?
Oh, Rap City, 106.
Yes, sir.
106. I'll never forget the Chingy Holiday Inn run. He was on.
No, Chingy had a run.
He had a run.
Hell of a run.
And it
Yes,
was
he did.
that singles music video run specifically.
Yeah.
He was on 106. It had to be like 5 months. On that
Oh, for
top
sure.
10,
If
at
it wasn't him,
least.
then it was Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Bow Wow for sure. Him and Bow Wow had probably the most legendary runs. And, bro, he couldn't do no wrong. He couldn't do no wrong. But with
Yeah.
that said, that culture has shifted now to where it's like the music video almost feels like it feels like from based upon what I'm seeing, the music video feels like more of an inconvenience for these artists. And she's going to talk about it, but I think part of the reason, and I agree with her, is that we didn't used to see our artists as frequently, nowhere near as frequently as we see them now. I didn't see you on social media with
That's
your
a
money
huge point.
phone.
That's a huge point.
I didn't see you in interviews and podcasts. I've sat with you now for 2 hours. What
Yeah.
2-hour interviews do we think of back in early 2000s? Like, what do you like? Do you, man, I'm sure they exist. There's those
few.
exist,
There's very few.
but that's such a commonplace thing that I think it kind of takes away the glow from these artists.
And that kind of made me wonder why labels or the artists themselves don't also put their music videos on TikTok, especially now that you can have longer videos on there.
Because these niggas is not trying to watch a 4-minute video on TikTok. I don't care what nobody says. Look at, you know what you can really see what's cracking off on TikTok? Open a new account. Forget your algorithm. Forget after it has learned you. Open up a new TikTok account and look what it feeds you. Because that's what's the most popular all across the world. They're trying to keep you on there. They shooting for everything that's the most popular.
Yeah.
If you really want to see, and then see how many 3-minute, 4-minute videos you see with skits in the middle. Because now folks trying to make movies out of the music video is more commonplace. But how do you feel in terms of just the suggestion of, or she's actually asking, why don't more artists put their music videos on TikTok?
It's difficult. I'm sure that there are some business reasons
Yeah.
why, for sure. I know that with YouTube, there's monetization, there's sponsors, there's where are people watching long videos the most? That's an interesting question because it's probably still YouTube.
Oh,
I
for
would
sure.
assume, you know?
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
And who's going to TikTok to watch a full-length music video? Nobody is. You've never went on there and went, man, I'm trying to see Thug's Mansion by Tupac. I'm gonna go on TikTok.
Like I'm trying to see the vertical version of it. I'm not even trying to see like the whole. I'm not even trying to see. I just want to see him cut off right here in the like.
I'm just trying to see
Said
Tupac's
who?
shoulders. That's it.
Matter of fact, hey yo, matter of fact, I don't even want to see the full frame video that they shot in 4K. Make it real tiny so I can see it on my phone. Like that doesn't even sound convenient.
Yeah.
But yet and still, you know, I understand the necessity, but folks inevitably end up going back to like what I think now is kind of like I'm gonna call it the Foggy Raw model, because I feel like he's executed on that as an independent artist. I haven't quite seen an artist execute on these vertical videos where it feels like you've been dumped into a middle of a movie scene. He had the one where he was you familiar with Foggy Raw? So he had the song where he was rapping over the Alicia Keys "You Don't Know My Name." And he was like in a Waffle House, and he was doing like the storytelling. He was like talking to this girl that he was talking to, and the song blew up.
I feel like I've seen that.
It blew up so big, Alicia Keys cleared the sample for him and got in a video with him. So it's like, in seeing that, people share that. But I think so many artists dedicate so little time to actually presenting a piece of content that has that replay value. They're just worried about, I got to make content, so this is my 6 or 7 video today. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the TikTok revenue is significantly less than YouTube, and
Yeah.
they just want people to go to YouTube to
we
get
go.
that revenue, but I'm not entirely sure. In the comments on my record labels are depressed videos, someone commented that TikTok killed the video star, and that's exactly what it's feeling like.
hey yo, should I let her cook, or you got something to say about that?
Let her cook, cause she onto something.
But the irony there is that TikTok is still a video platform, but its infusion with the internet seems like the biggest hurdle to tackle.
TikTok killed the video star.
Or created
is that a
another
reach?
beast. Maybe created a different beast.
What do you mean?
There is a video star, but TikTok is making it evolve. It's a mutant. It's different now. You know, you just said a guy met Alicia Keys off
Yeah.
of a vertical video.
Right.
Would he have met Alicia Keys off a horizontal video?
Who's to tell? Who's to tell if it got the same traction if you don't have the same accessibility to things like Instagram's sharing to stories option?
Right.
I think, which is super underutilized by a lot of artists, in that if you can create a piece of content that gets to the point in 15 seconds, people can have the whole experience in somebody else's story. That's why when they say the most important metrics on Instagram for growth are not necessarily always comments and likes. They're definitely valuable.
Yeah.
But having people save your posts and then share them across their platforms is how somebody with 30 followers, you might be like, oh, that's not going to be a big look or whatever. Something fell. Oh, you good. That might not be a good look or whatever. But it's like, fam, somebody has 30 followers here. Somebody has 15. They have 20. They has 35, 50. Those all at some point grow. And when you have that kind of traction, you never know what's the next person that's going to have that tipping point for you.
Yeah.
So, I think utilizing those 15-second clips can definitely do numbers like you saw for Foggy Raw.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Just to add a little bit onto that, the sharing the story thing.
Yeah.
How many times has everyone shares when they want to support someone, they share the story, right?
Right.
What are they watching when they click share that story? What's playing? And have you thought about that when you put your content out? Because that 15 seconds, make sure that when people hit share and support you,
Yeah.
you're getting the most out of that opportunity. You know,
Yeah.
very important information there.
So did TikTok did TikTok kill the video star? I don't know about the video star, but I'll say that TikTok is probably killing our traditional viewpoint of what a superstar or rock star is, because
1000%.
now, like, shout out to my younger sister. My sister is 20, and she'll show me people who have 4 and 5 million people. I've never heard of them a day in my life. but they're a household name to somebody's household. There's a lot more of those than I feel like there's ever been, because there's people who have these unique talents that go viral for whatever reason. I always talk about this older dude who all he does, he got a long ass beard. All he does is run into the middle of the road and flick off the camera. He got like millions and millions of followers on there. And he does the same content over and over and over again. So our idea of what a superstar used to be was inaccessible, right? Exclusive, mysterious to some degree for some of them.
Yeah.
Where does that exist now?
Those are hindrances now. Why you being mysterious, man? Come on.
The most mysterious pop star right now, I mean, that's such a weird way to put it, but Weeknd
Yeah.
did the Super Bowl. How less mysterious can you be? I mean, he had a mask on.
Even he is going, look, man, let's get it. Like,
We got to get to this chicken, man.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to finish this one off and I want to get to some final thoughts.
And back on the topic as to whether people watch less music videos, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. I came across so many articles, mainly from 2020 and 2021, asking why music videos as an art form don't feel as relevant as they used to. One reason is that for a while, music videos were a main source for free, legally free music. So if I didn't have an artist CD and I know they have a popular song out, my chances of turning on MTV and just hoping for the best would have been pretty good. Or if it's 2008 and I'm a child with no money, don't want to ask my parents to buy a song on iTunes, and my flip phone doesn't access the internet, I can look up the song on YouTube. And while I'm there, I may as well watch the music video rather than just listen to the audio. And of course, all of that stands, and especially more so before YouTube and MP3 players and cell phones existed. Nowadays, I feel like if people want to hear a song, they're more likely to open Spotify or Apple Music or another streaming app to hear the song, especially if it's one that they've already heard before.
I would make the argument that Spotify killed the Rockstar before TikTok did.
Spotify's an assassin.
I don't care what issues that brings me. Spotify done murked off so many, even businesses, bro. Like when you think about, I logged in to where I'd broadcast and distribute my podcast, and that shit said it's no longer Anchor, fam.
Oh,
that shit's Spotify for podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing? I was in DistroKid at one point in time, and there was like some direct connect to like the Spotify for artists, and then an article popped up that said Spotify, I guess, was either an investor at one point of DistroKid. Don't quote me on that, or they were involved in the business. And I'm like, fam, these are the things that when you monopolize an industry, the same way you think of a Live Nation, it changes everything. No matter if you're independent, no matter if you're signed, it changes everything because these people have a stranglehold on all the mediums. But streaming in general, forget Spotify, streaming in general makes music less special, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you can always access it. It's always right there. Right outside. I had a video where Yo Gotti was talking about how, with CDs, if you scratched them up, you had to go buy another one. With streaming, it's like, just keep listening. Anytime I want.
How it's a big question is urgency.
Yeah.
What things do we have urgency for, and what things do we not have any urgency for that maybe 10, 20 years ago were completely important? How urgently are you rushing to a new release from an artist that you aren't a diehard fan of?
Damn, what's crazy is that even for artists that I am like a pretty big fan of, I'm not staying up till midnight to listen to that shit.
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
I'd have to be up. I haven't and that's when I had to think about like, is that age? Is that what factors are into that, or is that just the era we're living in? I wonder how many folks here in the chat, how many of y'all are like that. But fam, I'm telling you, like my favorite, it'd have to be like somebody like for me, it'd probably have to be like a Sade. It'd probably have to be, I'll put a Kendrick in that. But as big of a Jay-Z fan as I am, I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till I go to the gym. Because it's not even about not believing in the artist. It's about what is this music for in my life, and what is it best as a soundtrack for? Going to the gym.
Right.
Okay, cool. I'm going to run that off tomorrow when I run my errands and I go to the gym. But the urgency is different when the only place that you can access it is through a music warehouse, a Tower Records. So.
Yeah, there's not an extended process to the music anymore.
Yeah, I think we kind of nailed it. I want to get down to some final thoughts on this one, as I'm sure you got some things that you want to share about this. Let me get to this last little smidget. So shout out to Naomi Cannibal, man. So Are music videos irrelevant in 2023, in your opinion, Jay?
No.
Why is that?
I think that the way we make music videos is obsolete. I think that that's the real statement in 2023, and I'm a victim of it. Look,
Yeah.
I'll tell
We had a long conversation because I was like, bro, before you go ahead and shoot that video
Yeah.
and do all that rendering that I know you finna do and all that editing, maybe we should just, maybe there's maybe, you know how they say work smarter, not harder? Maybe there's a different approach to that.
So I like to work harder, Curtis.
I do too. DIY to DIY. You
Man.
already know the vibes. And I know it's a lot of folks in here to feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, a lot of us, I'm looking in the mirror when I say this,
Yeah, for sure.
are working backwards, you know.
Yeah.
How often am I really planning out and doing reels and focusing on making sure people get an opportunity to get access to what I'm trying to make the product? Am I focusing on the product, which is what music videos were invented for, or am I focusing on the music video and hoping people just get the art?
Man, you know what's interesting about you saying that is that I've been having like this inner dialogue, just thinking about the more that I embrace my independence, the more that I like really take care of the business ends of being independent, I start to think about what do I need to unlearn from the traditional model? Because I think so many things that we value are the old record label traditional values, right? The awards. That's record. That's old industry shit. We talk about the numbers. My thing is, if you release a product and you have a smaller team, and you're talking about doing numbers that compete with a corporation that has 50 to 150 employees, like your standards should be completely different. First of all, you're not playing the same sport. Even though it's music, it's not the same sport. There's two different ecosystems. There's two different systems altogether. So with us, I think it's important as independent artists that we redefine what that success means relative to where we're at, the size of our teams and the reach of our audiences. And I think part of also that unlearning is, am I wanting to do a music video because I'm nostalgic about the idea and that's what I grew up on and fell in love with my favorite artists? Or is it better suited for me to just get off these 15-second, 30-second clips, which are inevitably doing the same thing as putting out a video and taking 15 to 30-second clips and pushing it to the same people? You feel what I'm saying? Like,
if you are a DIY artist, I just want you to ask yourself this genuine question. Why am I making this music video? Why? What is the purpose of this music video?
Yeah.
Because if it's anything besides more eyes getting to your actual music, then you need to go be a video director. Because your thinking is backwards and wrong, you know?
Can I add one to that?
Yeah.
What analytics do you have that back up this decision? Because if you're just making a video because I feel... Whatever ends with that.
Look, us artists feel a lot. Thank
and
you.
I understand that. Look, I say that, and a part of me dies when I say that because I understand how that can come off as like insensitive to the art. But man, I regret more decisions that I made when emotion was driving the car.
Yeah.
Right? Emotion being in the passenger seat is good. It gives some great directions.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can blindly do dumbass, financially illiterate bullshit in the name of art, in the name of this is just where my creative energy. I just feel like I should.
I'm gonna rent that hotel right there, and I'm gonna
You
set
feel
up these
me?
locations.
I'm gonna expend my entire budget for this video because I just got a belief. I have a belief, and then it believed me right into being broke again.
What's the end game? What's
Broke.
the end game?
That's the end game, bro.
Yeah, music videos at this point are they're closer to debt than they are to success.
That part.
That's
Well,
just what it is.
DIYers, those were our thoughts on that. We would love to hear your thoughts.
DIY.
All right, cool. DIYers, so what are your thoughts on this? This was a surprise stream and extremely informative. I've been listening in from the sidelines. Hey, Courtney, I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay Kasai. I'm glad that we're able to do this because there's so many times where I'm like, I'll say something in these videos, bro, and I'm like, I wish I had somebody else to bounce these ideas off of because I know I'm not crazy. Did I say some shit? Am I wrong? Because I go back and sometimes I'm editing and I'm like, yeah, somebody should have checked me on that one.
I was on a run.
I was going crazy. I was throwing everything out the water. But yeah, I love being able to share that point of view on it. But yeah, there's a lot of things I think we got to rethink if we want to be efficient at this, and also to save our fucking sanity, man. Because I think a lot of us are just we're and then also it doesn't help that I think family kind of nails that home as well too, where they'll be like, you're successful at rapping, or when's the last time you were on MTV or BET? And then I'm like, nigga, when's the last time MTV showed a music video? First of all, if you want to get to that.
How do we quantify the successes and purposes of all these things? You know, and technology is evolving faster than it's ever evolved in history, which means what things are leaning into technology? Music. You know, so if 20 years ago Best Buy had 30 shelves of CDs, and now you walk in Best Buy and you go, where are the CDs? And they go, on our website.
Bro, they got bro, they had to replace the CDs with either DVD bundles, not even DVDs, just DVD bundles, or it's like gaming keyboards and mouses.
Look,
there ain't no place for the CDs no more. Y'all couldn't just keep a few of them in here.
They said, put your wingspan out. That's how many movies, CDs, DVDs, and games we got. Everything else is online.
It hurts, bro. It hurts because I go in there, bro, because I understand that connection to nostalgia, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned that in the video, and that, like, I understand what it's like to be the kid that's writing music, and you're like, man, one day my music is gonna be in the same place that I see this Jay-Z CD or this Tupac CD. One day I'm gonna be that. And then you finally get there, and you realize the rest of the world has changed dramatically since you was a yay high kid. So, yeah. Well, DIYers, what are y'all thinking? I'm gonna put some of these up here, because y'all going in. Y'all are going in. Interesting points, but I think videos are relevant if you craft something unique out of care, and it feels like it genuinely benefits the audience's understanding of the song. Honestly, I agree with the whole music video concept. People be wanting way too much in their videos, and then they don't want to pay the videographer. Let's get to that. Shout out to Smack. Oh, that's such a great point. You're a scam. I can't stand when folks come in here. You ain't even talking about the topic. All religion is a scam. Get out of here. Summer Savita voice. Get out of here. Honestly, where I'm from, we only finding out new stuff through burnt mixtapes in the high school days. It seemed like this is an evolution in that way. I see what you mean.
I feel that.
Music used to premiere on radio only, and you tuned in to hear that or wait to see the music video drop on 106 in Park. Remember MTV premiere. It's titulating. They say some kind of shit or whatever, like MTV music premiere. That got you so hyped up. It's like now it's like,
look, shout out to Ludacris, because
bro,
you want to talk about king of the music video era.
Man, bro, he was one of them. He for sure was one of them. Shout out to the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, Courtney, for taking care of the weirdo. Thank you, Tyrone. Hey, man, I'm new to the channel. You ain't new to this channel, but you always do this. Shout out to Tyrone Sellers. This is the homie Jay Kasai in here.
What up?
Artists and more so rappers need to step up the creativity with music videos. I agree. 90% of the rap videos look identical. Performance shot.
Man.
Smoke. Slow motion. Stand up. Show the homies looking at you real menacing like. Show a fucking pit bull.
Stand in front of the car.
Show the car in slow motion. Hey. Like, how many times can we do the same shit over and over again and like be worried about like, man, why ain't got no motion? Cause you are not putting no motion into the idea. Come on, man. Let's like, I think that's where, last point I'll make is this. We can get to the second story. That's where the unlearning is going to be so freeing. I'm going through the experience right now. The unlearning of the traditional model, and when you recognize like, okay, I don't have to be intimidated by all the freedom I have as an independent.
Yeah.
I get to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Wait. I get to do whatever I want to do.
And move with purpose. Move with your own best interests. Look, I know that we have a few purists in the chat who are going, look, man, if it's unique and it's genius and it's special, you should put the video out. And they're not wrong. Yeah. After you've done the first preliminary steps of making sure there's demand for it.
Yeah.
Who's waiting for that video?
Or you can run through your 10 racks and do what the hell you want to do with your money, because you ain't going to be mad at nobody but your damn self.
DEBT debt.
He said the DEBT test. Yeah, if it's you for sure gonna find your ass right back there to square one. And it's so oh my God, it's so discouraging because you can run through that model multiple times or run through that routine because every time you have new music, that love gets reignited.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta make a music video that's killer for this. And then you run through the same mistakes and you wonder why year to year.
Let me ask you something as an artist.
Yeah.
How many times have you made a project and you swore you knew what the best songs, the hit songs, the most popular songs would be? How many times were you right? How many times were you wrong?
I'm probably wrong 93% of the time. If I'm being really honest with you,
Yeah.
the songs that I was like, yo, this is the one. I would do shows and they would look at me like, got anything else?
All right, buddy.
Did you hear the strings at the end of this?
Look,
Did you hear the cello that I added?
this is a great opportunity for you to do smaller reels to all those songs you think are the ones, and let's find out for real.
Bro, you know, this. I know I keep saying last point, but bro, I think I figured out something in watching LaRussell. I don't know if he's ever talked about this, but I wondered why when LaRussell drops projects, he's on like project 28 right now. I wondered what's his rollout plan, at least specifically on Instagram. And I started doing some studying, and I'm like, he'll drop the album cover. He'll do like 3 performance videos, vertical videos, but in the midst of that, he's promoting the entire catalog. He just needs 1 or 2 of those to go off a week, and I'm sure that's the difference between, you know, sales of merchandise, sales of things directly off his website, the pay what you want, and then of course some streams as well. But when I see that, I'm like, bro, that is such a forward-thinking way of doing it because now you're not held to the standard of industry where they tell you you got to work this one song that is relevant right now. When it's like, so when the hell I do them 500 other songs for? So now they're no longer relevant? What if they're still good? What if, especially in a time where, shout out to the Ghost City DJ song, My Boo, how that goes viral again because of the Running Man Challenge.
Look, I don't know if the world realizes. I think that the number is some staggering, like 75% of all streams are old music.
Damn.
And it might be a crazier
know that. That's
statistic
crazy.
than that, but new music is getting listened to less than it ever has in history. What's going to separate you from the rest of the other 25% of new music?
Sheesh.
You know, so
That's a great
keep
point.
that in mind. Keep that in mind.
That's a great point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep hitting that like button. If you're not getting notifications, it's because I probably did some bad stuff. I've been out here talking a little bit too spicy, and YouTube is like, let's slow it down. So please hit that like button, share it if you can to your social medias and all that. Let's get into this next story with G Perico, who's talking about why record deals specifically are predatory. We hear that term get thrown around so much. He gets into more specifics, and I want to talk about that.
DIY.
Okay, DIYers. So I saw this clip here on Hip Hop DX. It was an interview with a artist from the West Coast. He is a force out here on the West Coast, independently doing his absolute thing in G Perico. Many folks have even compared his owning of his own merchandise store and just really the way that he pushes his brand as kind of even being in line with Nip. And so he gets a lot of props out here. He's worked with a lot of reputable folks. His music sounds amazing. But he talks in this interview specifically with Hip Hop DX about a term that gets thrown around a lot when it talks about the music industry. And it's predatory deals, right? Some folks even call it predatory loans, where
As they should.
right. And so he actually gets into some details that I thought were interesting and definitely worth a reaction. So let's hear from G Perico.
Well, it seems like you do see the bigger picture in everything you do, and I obviously you have the line that everybody talks about, like turning down the 2.5 mil. But what was the first thing that you said no to that maybe a different version of you would have said yes to?
Like in the intro, after I didn't even drop Shit Don't Stop yet. I had a project in the streets called Enterprise 2, and it was just heavy in the streets on the underground. A lot of people was coming, and one specific scenario that I got. It's a guy I got a lot of respect for and love for too. But it's just like the
That's how it
business.
starts.
You know, the music industry is like a predatory thing. Like,
By nature,
they
yeah.
take everything from you. And when he slid the contract to me, it's like, you know, I read well and like comprehend well. So, you know, I went through it and it was like, damn, where do I win at?
Hold on, let me find my. Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it. Hold on. So, this is nothing new. We've heard this before, but why does it always feel like it's the same storyline, no matter who you talk to? They make friends with you, and then they slide you that contract. Like, why you sliding me? Why you sliding my life away?
Just go ahead now. You don't even have to read it. Just go ahead and get your pen out.
Oh, you slide on your ops? Look at this. So he talks about somebody that he befriended, that he actually had a really significant deal on the line. And as he's reading through it, I always joke about it. I think the old traditional record label is so used to, like, folks doing, for lack of a better term, nigga business, that they don't think that they don't really have the respect that their friendship, so-called friendship, is relaying to that artist. And they always wait until it gets into the business terms where they become that shark that they always were. They kind of show their fangs at that point.
Yeah.
And they're not expecting you. First of all, you're not going to say no to me. You're going to say no to me. You know how many people would love to have this opportunity?
Right.
Not only are you going to say no, but you know better. And he asked a very valid question. And, you know, where do I win at?
Right. And I think they were counting on him being a little ignorant.
It's unfortunate. Because we know a lot of rappers that are.
Yeah. And not even to downplay them or anything, because
Right.
G Perico clearly has a great literacy rate if he was able to read a contract without a lawyer. And
Great
go,
entrepreneurial mind, too. Yeah.
And just go, where do I win? You know, he's saying, I see the 2.5 mil, but where do I win?
Right.
You know, I see the dollar amount.
Because I see the expectations you guys have once you give that to me, because now my time is spoken for. If I get, and I think about it from this point of view too, because I think it's easy to just like beat down on the labels, rightfully so too. Yeah. But I think from the perspective of, if I'm a businessman and I give you $2 million, I'm your new best friend. I need to know what you're working on when you're dropping that. Wait a minute. I don't think we should drop that yet. So I understand that perspective.
If I loan you $100, hey, Curtis, what
hey,
we
if
on
I loan
tonight?
you $5, I might still have some questions. Like, hey,
What you have for dinner?
Hey, you good? You still need that $5?
I'm rearranging your order at Popeyes. You don't need the sandwich.
If I owe you 20, you may look at me different at a show if you see me eating food, getting beer, and I ain't even brought up the 20. So I think this might have been a deal for $2.1 million. But with that said, like, they purposely. This is why I think they're so surprised when a G Perico comes around. They purposely word these contracts in a way that are tricky and that are slippery as hell.
Right.
So I'm gonna let him kind of elaborate on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be, like, I don't really care about being super famous. It's like I grew up as a popular kid, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of the people that people talk about. So that's never really been the goal for me. It's like, how am I living? And, you know, am I stressed about bills and doing certain shit? Can I do what I want? Like,
So here's where I think the predatory term starts to kind of reveal itself, in that when you think of the word predatory, you also think of a related word in prey, right? You may prey upon somebody, right? To me, it seems like the rappers are the individuals that would be the easiest to prey upon, are the ones who lack confidence, who may not project it in an obvious way, but they can see this is somebody who really wants to be famous because mommy and daddy didn't love them, or because people used to bully them in high school, or whatever things that go through their mind. It's almost like they're looking at this person and saying, oh, you would say yes to this. And they purposely put these things out there to kind of test, how much are you really about that independence that you be talking about? So what do you kind of see with that?
Absolutely. I think that he's de-weaponizing the label as soon as he says clout is not currency to me. That is not a perk on this contract for me, you know? So what else do you got? Because that's not adding value to this contract to make me sign it, and that's a loan. So what's left?
Imagine if working capital worked that way. Imagine if PayPal said, hey, we're going to loan you this money, man, but, like, you know, we're going to take, like, 70% interest, you feel me? And, like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. But think about how famous you'll be when you run those ads.
You 1 million followers for 70% interest on this loan.
Bro, I might show up
And
to
people are saying, let's go.
I might show up to PayPal headquarters with a problem.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you push such a low grade benefit?
When you
what
remove
is
the
that?
glitz and glam, remove all the
Yeah.
glitz and glam from the situation and scenario, and look
Yeah.
at the black and white dry scenario.
Yeah.
Here's a high interest loan. Here's some followers, and I'm going to own you for the next 30 years.
You good with that?
How much is it going to take? How much money is it going to take in your loan? Because I'm going to need this back.
Are you cool with that? Does that sound good to you?
It's not even a low interest loan.
It's pretty fair to me. I know it's fair to your ass. I bet it is.
It's like, damn, it's not even a good loan?
It's not even a good loan. All right, my bad. I went through here. Let me go back a little bit.
The guy I got a lot of respect for. The contract to me, it's like, I read well and like comprehend well. So, I went through it and it was like, damn, where do I win at? You know what I mean? I grew up as a popular kid,
Yeah.
like one of them people that people talk about. So that's never really been the goal for me. It's like,
Cloud is not
how
currency.
It's not enough.
am I living? And, am I stressed about bills and doing certain shit? Can I do what I want? Like, I'm into like living a life of leisure. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the scenario was just like, they own my image and likeness. So that means you own my face, dude.
Which is
And, like,
crazy.
Yeah, like, I strategically put together how I want to look. You know what I'm saying? Outside of DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, completely negate the work that I did to get on your radar. You gonna just wipe that out and rebrand me. I understand, once again, I understand that if you're the one that's shelving out the money, you should have a say, right? Because at the end of the day, even this name and this brand is sort of detached from who you are with your government name and who you are away from the stage. So it's really like, I wouldn't necessarily always look at it as they're taking him, because I know he's an authentic artist who is talking about the things that he has gone through, but his government name is not just G and Perico, right? This is a brand. This is something he's expanded into a clothing brand. And so I think they may look at it as, all right, take that away from you and whatever your government name is. This is a product that we're both now invested into. I'm financially invested into it. You have sweat equity into this. Let's figure out how to make this product that much bigger.
Yeah.
But I think the lines do get blurred when you start to look at, like, is this really a partnership? Or now are you just
Right. Are you
using
an
your
investor
leverage
in me
to
who's looking for a payout?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are you trying to just make a flip off something?
Man. And then I had Juju McLean from United Masters on here yesterday, and he talked about, he just kind of very casually went over this stat, but he was like, Atlantic Records probably has like 300, 400 artists signed right now. 300, 400. And he said, yeah, probably only like 10% of them actually pop off. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like people who have real estate portfolios.
Flipping houses.
Flipping houses. Not every single one of them is going to yield the same results, but like, I have them. These are
Yeah.
all my properties. So I can understand how he feels that way, because after a certain point, it's like, so you don't want my input, even though it was good enough to be sitting across the table from you. Wild.
So own my image and likeness, 30% ancillary, 50% publishing, plus a 15% admin fee. Own the masters.
Where
and
do
then
I win?
wherever we go, whatever scenario we get outside of that is 50-50. So it's just like a
Oh, that's a good old All-American 360 deal. That's what that sound like. Anytime
Tony Hawk 900 deal right there. God,
That's for sure, Tony Hawk. That's for sure a half man, half amazing 1080. Like, bro, like, he broke down just the music for a good 15 seconds. Then he said, in addition to that, but wait, there's more. Any money that you make outside of this, yeah, I'm gonna need that too. Because I mean, we all know music don't really make the same kind of money it used
we
to.
homies, right?
We good, right?
We good.
We good. You see, on line 52, it says partnership. You can trust me.
Man.
Wonderland said, Tony Hawk 900 is insane. That Tony Hawk deal, I'm telling y'all, you can get one too. What you need.
Man.
I'm like, damn, how do I make any fucking money?
Talk
And then
about
y'all
it.
got the right to sell me off at any time y'all want.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Something just don't sit right with my black ass when I hear sell me off.
That sounds crazy.
I know I'm reaching, but when I hear that, it's just like
I don't know if you're
words are
reaching.
powerful, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Daylight. We both know Daylight.
Yeah.
Like he's somebody who's like really sold me on that. Is that words carry spells? Mm-hmm. That's why you spell. Mm-hmm. When I hear terminology like that, I'm like, you can sell me off based upon my talents. That just stings. Anytime you want. So you have no commitment, no loyalty to me.
No.
It's business.
That's it.
But my question is, even when you say that's business, is there a point in time where you as a human being, like how do you have that conversation with yourself after you've done this to dozens and dozens of people? Mm-hmm. Can you cold-hearted look in the mirror and say, I don't give a shit? And if that's who you have to become a multi-billionaire, do you want that?
These labels do.
That's what I tell you.
Keep the suits out the booth.
A 1080 deal is still crazy. A Tony Hawk deal, bro.
And Tony Hawk got 900 deals.
Want that Tony Hawk Underground deal? Are you underground, huh? We got a Tony Hawk Underground deal, too.
And we got a part 2. Stay tuned.
I don't care what system you on.
For how much ever, and I don't
keep
get none of
everything you
this
did
shit.
under that contract too.
Right. So I was like, damn, can we negotiate? Yeah, you can ask for more money. And I'm like, well, with all respect, like I can't do it. And then kind of put it like a strain on a relationship.
See, that's the dangerous part about it too, is that even after he saw how little respect that contract, let's say the individual, it's not nothing personal, but how little respect the terms of that contract had for him and as a businessman, as an artist, after he saw that, he's still treading around it a bit to where it's like, I don't think he's scared, but I do understand the power of relationships in the industry.
It's tricky.
And even when you're independent, pissing off the wrong person, Russ is dealing with it right now with Billboard and all these other folks. You piss off the wrong person, they can make it really difficult for you to do some really easy things that just spiral off the momentum that you had.
Right. I mean, let's look at it this way. Let's non-personify. Let's make this like something more digestible.
Right.
You built a business. The name of his business is G Perico, right? They come up and go, damn, you're making some good money. You got a good business. We love everything you got going on inside the building. We want to rip you off and steal it. And also, if we end up changing our mind about it, we're going to flip it.
Sell your ass off.
If you want a little more money on the loan, that's about the best we can do. That's what they offered him. You know, they're not actually paying him anything unless the business goes crazier. That's it.
And the deal is so lopsided, they said, I mean, you can ask for more money.
Like, I can't negotiate the actual terms? No.
You know what that sound like? You know what, man? I like you. Instead of 90-10, how about 88-12? But it's like a Shark Tank episode. I've been looking at some of them deals, and I'm like, do I want to work with Mark Cuban that bad?
Look, and they're looking at you like, where else are you going to go?
You here, baby? You here? This big stage. It's the big stage. Where you going to go? Man, I'm going to let him finish this off and get to some final thoughts.
At the time. And I looked at it as business, but I think he looked at it like, damn, you ain't going to take this thing I'm introducing you to all these people.
Yeah.
You ain't going to, like, nah, I can't do it, dog.
Bro, the audacity. Like the flipping audacity.
Bro, I sauced you up. You ain't going to let me burn you?
I sauced you up. You're not gonna let me burn you. It's a crazy way to put it. Hey, I'm just re-quoting.
I'm trying to make it digestible.
Come on, man. You just gotta leave that alone.
For the content.
See, you gotta moonwalk your way all the way out of that one. So yeah, bro, it gets really, really murky in those waters.
And this is for a successful independent artists. So what do you think's going with the ones who aren't so successful?
I can't make you any guarantees either. I give you that much of my catalog and that much of all the money. Like, you're not. Here's the thing that I always think about: the sweat, the appearances, the live shows, the interviews. Yes, this is our profession and we love what we do, but it can easily become robbed of enjoyment when it becomes a hassle of a job that affects your sleeping habits, that affects your relationship with your families. If you're just married because now you got some new money and you can't even enjoy the new house that y'all just bought, you can't see a young one. I've been on tours, where rappers were like away from their families, newborns, but they got to get back out here on tour to make this money to support this family. The mental strain that takes alone, now add on top of it, if they have some kind of social media interaction with people telling them they fell off because a label told them not to release nothing in this quarter because this is not a good time for your music right now. You're more so top of the year. And it's like, but it's February. We're talking about top of next year.
I make November music? It's like, what are you saying?
Like, what are you really getting at? Well, based upon our stats, and I think that's where things get really murky in that water. But I got to say, shout out to G Perico for being so transparent with it, because I know you got to walk very carefully around that topic because, I mean, you never know, man, these major entities and companies are so connected that they may be the person that owns the print on demand, or maybe an investor in the print on demand for your merchandise. All of a sudden your orders are coming in a little bit slower. I wonder why that is. All of a sudden they don't have this particular color that completely sells out for you.
Cooperate. That's what they want.
And I'm saying, once you sleep in bed with these folks, it's like a crazy ass ex, man. You gotta be careful, bro. You look at, you knew what you stepping into, but it was good.
DIY.
That was a hell of a way to end it right there. Like, I be knowing what I be doing. I'll be doing. T. Lamont said, I love your topics. Pause. I don't think you got to pause that, but I appreciate that. You ain't, I don't really take nothing with that. I don't think you meant nothing wild with that. I like your topics. If you said I like your hot topic, I might feel a little different. That might feel a little bit uncomfortable. But what you make of this shit, bro? Like, this is, at this point, like, I just feel like I'm running laps around this content. Yeah. Because it keeps being said, and I'm like, bro, as a young one, I wasn't exposed to this much music. I had to get DVDs in order to see, like, oh, that's what happened to Far Side. There was a DVD called Rhyme or Reason, and I'm seeing, like, this is my first time hearing about artist interactions because I'm not in the industry.
Yeah.
Now you see this shit damn near every single week. How I know that? Because I got content every damn week.
Look, the new generations are going to change so dramatically because we're in the information age now.
Facts.
So what you're doing is going to dramatically change music in 20 years.
Man.
Dramatically.
I hope so.
But today, right now, we still have artists who have a successful cash flowing business.
Right.
Getting offered upside down deals. And you know what happens when that artist says no? They go to the next one, he says yes.
What you won't do?
That's the problem.
Yeah. Damn.
Now, if every artist looked at that contract just like G Perico and went, I ain't no slave.
Yeah.
Eventually the labels are going to go, we should probably renegotiate these contracts and rethink this.
And I feel like a lot of these labels are starting to quietly change their business model. Much in the same way that, I guess not in the same way, but how YouTube used to be a dating site. Did you know that? The first original?
I did not know that.
YouTube was a dating site to begin with, and they pivoted. Canva was only a website for high schools to get their yearbooks printed on. Now it's like the industry standard for making your own graphic design content. So companies pivot all the time. What I see with everything going on with the AI is that it seems like that's the next pivot. It's like we're tired of these human beings we've been trying to work like robots failing on us, getting RICO cases, dying on us. You know what we can do? Let's get some AI. They'd never fail us. And it seems like now they're getting into that industry. Now skip that. I'm starting to see companies like Red Bull. I think Blast said that he and his team got a really fair deal with Red Bull because they're not looking at this from the point of view of like the traditional record label. They're like, how can we make what you have? How can we expand that and scale that the way a business should?
Right.
Because we want a resume of successful stories. We don't want 400 of you. We want you, Blast.
Yeah.
So it's a different era, man. It's a different era. All right, DIYers, what are your thoughts before we get into this last story? Are you enjoying, having a guest on this one? This is crazy. This is something different. I definitely was like thinking in my head, how's this gonna work out? But I love the fact that we just having a general conversation. It's my guy Jake Asai, man. Come on,
we flowing.
Come on, he cooking. Let that man cook. Band Brawler said, let me go ahead and highlight this real quick. We can get into the last story after this. Jasmine said, best guest ever. Aww. Band Brawler said, conversations like this are very valuable to hear. Always, both of you. I suggest that you hang on to this last conversation, DIYers, because this one, we getting ready to cook, right? Especially when we talk about, I've done stories about, shout out to I used to be paid. I think his name was his YouTube channel, where he's talking about why him as a fan of music, he's not buying tickets anymore. So many of those comments, because that video went pretty viral. So many of those comments were like, okay, Curtis, we hear you, but what do we do? Because it's not necessarily a traditional school for performing for rappers. And so I think that those who turn around, like shout out to Usher. Usher has a masterclass on, I think it's called Masterclass.
I know what you're about to say, and I haven't seen the video.
Yeah, right? He has a masterclass on how to do performings.
Yeah.
And this is a great time to be living in order for that thing, because it hasn't always been the reality. With that said, though, in this particular clip that we're gonna watch, it's a YouTuber and an artist and of a band named Damian Keys, and he really breaks down 10 things that you can do to improve your live shows. And I highly suggest, if you're an artist, if you're a producer doing beat showcases, or if you're just a friend of one of your artists, please save this video and keep it for your friend, because the information he's gonna give in combination of the things we're gonna give from being performed. How long you been performing artist, by the way?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah,
15 years. I'm about the same, about 17 years. From tours, from doing different size venues and understanding the difficulties and obstacles that come with it. We're going to get into that. So that's the next big one. I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy it. So shout out one time from my guest, Jay Kasai one time. Hey.
Appreciate y'all.
It's so good to be able to hear these topics right here with you instead of getting a text like, hey, that last string was on point, bro. Hey. I'm like, man, I wish you could have been there, bro, low key. Like,
I'll be there in spirit.
Shout out to Courtney promoting. She said you can follow Jay Kasai on YouTube, either Jay Kasai or Jay Kasai TV. Shout out to you.
Appreciate you, Courtney.
Hey, why they slide you the contract like that? That's got to be a clip. For real, that's gonna be a clip.
Yeah, just go ahead right there. Yeah.
We're cool, right? Jay, what's your name? Jay, right?
Yeah, we're boys, right?
Jay Kasai. All I can see is the big lights. Are you seeing my vision? Clouds. You want clouds? I can throw clouds in there for you. Big clouds. Jay Kasai. 90% to me, 2% to you, and the rest we'll figure it out when we get there.
We'll reinvest that in my business. The other one.
the other one. Yeah, we're gonna win together as a partnership. But
it's only gonna take you about 40 years to pay me back that advance, though.
So. I want to know how they. I want to see a compilation video of all the times those contracts got slid to the artists in front of them. Like, do they look them in the eyes? Do they wait until like a very awkward time? Like, we're talking about, like, man, you know, my kid, man, getting ready to go start school. That's cool, bro.
Here's that deal, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So enough of the small talk. Like, sliding that bullshit across the table to me is very disrespectful.
We're boys, right? Look you right in your eyes.
It's the sliding of it. Like, if you handed it to me, I have more respect for you, because it's like, that's like very authoritative.
Go ahead.
Take this bullshit. But you gonna slide it to me like we at that point, my boy.
It's time.
It's time is crazy. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. All right, DIYers, let's get into this last story, and let's get to it. So, how to improve your live performances, 10 amazing tips via Instagram from Damian Keys.
DIY.
All right, DIYers. So I saw this post here on Instagram from Damian Keys, well-known artist as well as YouTuber. And I've always seen his videos, but I gotta admit, I was judging a book by its cover, because I always saw his thumbnails, and I'm guilty, where I was like, man, is there somebody giving some advice about the music business? And I'm like, do you even music, bro? But as I saw in this clip, he talked about his credentials, what I did not know about. So please excuse me, Damian, if you watched this clip. This was a phenomenal piece of social media content that really, I feel like, could have been on YouTube because of how long this video is. But it's 10 amazing tips about how to improve your live show. Why is this so important? Because DIYers, obviously, I am a music producer and artist. I'm getting back into performing on a more consistent basis. Jay Kasai, you've been doing it for how many years?
About 15.
15 years, and we both have seen a fair share of scenarios when it comes to live shows.
Absolutely.
Bad shows.
Absolutely.
Good shows.
I've given them both.
Who you talking to?
Let's talk about it.
I got booed my first show, but that's another story for another day. With that said, though, I think this is a great follow-up to the video we did of a reaction of I used to pay, where he talked about why, as a fan, he's not buying rap tickets for the prices, the ridiculous prices that they are today. I think this is a great follow-up for those of you that are like, okay, I hear you, but how do we improve this live show? He gives 10 absolute gems that I think you guys are going to love. So let's get into it. Damian Keys, let me refresh. I can just play it.
Top 10 tips for your next gig. Point 1, everybody wants to play in an amazing venue like this. I mean, this venue holds 600-700 people, which is amazing, and everybody wants to, all bands want to play here. However, if you can only bring 30 or 40 people to your gig, this is not realistic, and you need to build up to this, because you are not looking after your fan base. If you can bring 30 people down, they are going to rattle around in here, and it's not going to give a good atmosphere for you or for them. So be realistic with what venue you want to play.
I couldn't stop. I couldn't decide where to stop because he kept feeding it, man. Hold on, let's start here. Let's start here.
Man.
Look. How many times have you done a show? And sometimes this doesn't really fall on the artist. Sometimes you get booked for a show without knowing the venue. Maybe you research a little bit online. Maybe you've been around the area and you're like, you know what? I haven't performed. This will be a good look. Get my fans out there. And then you get to a venue and it is, bro, it looks like it is made for 1,000 people. And it's all but about 17, counting the people who are behind the bar.
And your homies?
and your homies. Sound man. People passing by the doors. People getting drinks, not even here for the damn show.
Man.
It's not a good look for the artist, but also at the same time, that does fall partly on the promoter for booking venues and not understanding like the difference between somebody's social media presence and the difference between how many heads they can pull to a show.
Huge metric
Talk
difference. About it. Let's talk even up to max scale here, which is how many times as of late, which is maybe you can speak to this more than I can. We have artists who are recalibrating, canceling tours
left and right
because they picked venues bigger than their britches. They picked venues they can't fill up. And now the promoter's going, look, you want us to pay you this much, but we can only sell this many tickets with your name on it.
But what you mean, bro? I'm doing arena tours. I got
bro, I got 300 million streams.
300 million streams on this song alone.
Come on now.
I can't even count all the streams together.
These people's teams, their teams are not going into those metrics and analytics and going, okay, how many are actually in LA?
How about this? Of those streams, how many of them are younger consumers who hyper consume because they have the time to consume
and don't go to concerts?
Don't go to concerts and can't afford to go to concerts unless they get the okay from the parents who got the money.
And you rap about killing people. I'm gonna take that one.
I wasn't gonna go there, but I wasn't. No, you ain't gotta read that one. No, let them have it. But so it's very important also for artists before you say yes, get the information about a show. See if you can like look up. First, what I do a Google search of just the images of the venue. Then I see YouTube and see, is this the kind of venue that people want to share content at? What does it look like? When you start seeing like that, then go to the Yelp reviews. Oh, their bathrooms are really nasty. Think less about, this is going to sound really bad. I would say think less so much about your experience. And, you want to have good live sound, of course.
Yeah.
But think more so about the experience of the person that's coming out to support you that doesn't have to do shit.
Right.
They're out of work. They're off of work. They're relaxing at home. They can just watch the stories, but they chose to get ready, pay for gas, pay the ticket, and come check you out. And you got them at a venue where the bathrooms smell like musty as hell.
The experience that person gets that night will determine their level of support for you the rest of the time you make music?
Bro, how often would you want to go to a show after you had a bad experience? You got people bumping you around or all of the extra shit that come with it.
And let's flip this around real quick. Have you ever been to a show for someone you hadn't really heard of, and now you'll never forget them because of how great the experience was?
Yes, oh, for sure, for sure.
I'll never forget. I saw Evidence live at Paid Dues in 2009 or something, and never really knew who he was. I knew Dilated People.
Yeah.
I didn't really know Evidence. I saw his live solo set.
know.
I've been a fan ever since.
I think for me it was Prof, and I've done some production for Prof.
I feel the same way about
Prof. Prof probably had one of the best just DJ, and it wasn't a bunch of lights and a bunch of stuff that a lot of artists are relying upon.
Yeah.
It was him and the DJ, and the show was so tight. It was like every second is accounted for. Even if some bullshit happens in the audience, he'll figure out a way to incorporate that into the set. There's a time to introduce, and it's not before the first song. He's not burning that time. He's taking advantage of, I have a short window of time to make an impression on these people, and he takes full advantage of it. But yeah, so that's the first tip.
Point 2. This is a big stage, and your use of space is absolutely key. I want you to command the audience by standing at the front of the stage, making yourself as big as possible. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see musicians 3-4 foot back off the stage, facing sideways, or that thing where bass players are literally inches away from the drummer, communicating in their own world.
Not you breathing like Skip Bayless. He said, oh, is this your goat? Come on,
I see this way too much. Your name was on the flyer for this show. Why do you look like you're doing cables in the back? Why do you look like the sound man? Why do you look like you're the light technician?
Put your hands up. Why you look like you scared of the
audience? Why do you look like you a fan member? Like you just broke in.
You looking like you want to be down there with them watching you.
You in the back of the stage dancing, not even looking at the crowd, man.
But I like that tip about like this is where physiology is important to study, and I think somebody who speaks on this really well is Tony Robbins. He talks about the we like people mentally. We like people who are like us.
Right.
So when you're talking to somebody, you're trying to make a good impression. You could do something. It may sound manipulative, but we do this naturally when we're around people who are friends. Me and Jay are probably doing this right now. And that when you're building rapport with somebody, you kind of mimic their hand motions. If they don't use hand motions, then you kind of put your hands away.
Yeah.
Or if they make eye contact, you make eye contact. Whatever it is, you're kind of mirroring them because we like people who we feel like are like us.
Yeah.
With that said, when you're on that stage, you are setting yourself apart. You are saying, I belong on this stage. I was booked for this night. I was paid for this night, even possibly. The music that you listen to is just as great as what you heard live than what it is what you enjoyed at home. Or else why even come see me?
That's it.
So, I don't know if do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, he's right. Connect to the crowd. Your job on the stage is to connect with the people in front of it. Nothing else.
I seen a show
this
where...
ain't a house party. It ain't a kickback up there. This ain't you and your homies relaxing and everyone's just, wow, they're rappers.
Oh my God, never seen one of you before. Bro, I seen a rapper that he broke his rapper character when somebody reached out to touch his hand, and he was like, and he had his shades on, and I feel like I could see his eyes through his shades. He was like, something. They touched his arm. He was like, ugh. I was like, what are you doing? You just killed your best fan that night.
Man.
She might have been a little bit drunk, but he was like, ugh.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, bro, come on. You ain't demanding no kind of authority at all.
Man.
This is about communication to the audience. So where you stand and how you physically present yourself is absolutely key to communicating to your audience to give them the best live show possible.
That's a power pose. He had a power pose on that one.
I am the leader of this show.
He made them jeans look like basketball shorts. That man said, gotta stand with authority right here. All right, baby.
Point 3, what you wear on a stage like this is really, really important. I have a real pet peeve with bands who turn up all wearing black. Yeah.
All right, you ain't got to talk so loud, bro.
Is that soft spot right there?
I'm gonna need you to chill, Damien. I was with you. Why you got to call me out? How many videos y'all didn't see me in all black? I do that at the shows too.
I don't even want to talk right now.
You know, I don't know how much I got. See, so it's funny how when you start shooting off, like bullets ain't got no name sometimes.
He don't take prisoners, do he?
He was like, oh, I'm talking about you too. I'm talking about you. Y'all, both of y'all in the all black today. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, even from, and I love the fact that I could talk to you about this as a videographer.
Yeah.
We're always kind of thinking about the contrast between the talent and the background.
Yeah.
So when you have something that blends in too much and it's not done for a specific emotion, it just looks flat.
Yeah.
And so he brings up a good point in that you should really think about, is there a color? Is there a brand, something aligned with your brand that can help you stand out and kind of demand that authority?
Look, fun fact. I used to work in a television studio. You know what all staff members have to wear? All black.
Why?
Because you're not talent. You're staff.
Let me get you one of those. I gotta get you one of those.
And,
I was expecting a head explosion answer. This thing said you're not talent.
That's it.
That's all it is.
I promise you, if you are a camera op and you show up in a blue shirt,
Yeah.
you got the day off.
What do you think you are?
Intern, come in. You wore all black. You're smarter than that guy. You got the job. It's gonna be that simple.
I wonder if actors come up to somebody like that. Hey, bro, all those colors. Who do you think you are? It's like
you're Tom Cruise. I'm Tom Cruise.
What kind of Hollywood set tripping? I had no idea that.
There's two Tom Cruises here at this.
He's wearing blue. Like what kind of Hollywood set tripping is going on? But I understand it. Is that it makes it really easy to psychologically and like instantly say, oh no, that's somebody I should definitely be giving a certain level of respect to.
That's a focal point.
That's a focal point.
I need to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
have to remember where you are. Yes, there's stage lighting, but if you're just wearing black, it's going to look very two-dimensional and therefore very flat.
And most stages are. Have you noticed that? I didn't notice that until he said that. Most stages that we perform on have like a black backdrop.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why the sound guy that you look like when you was in the back of the stage, he can run on stage during your set, and he's not as noticeable because he's not talent.
Jay, you know how many shows people done took pictures, and I'm like, looking at the pictures of them performing, they was like, it was a movie last night. I'm like, nigga, where was you at?
You was an extra in the movie.
You
was not a main character.
Could you imagine a movie poster where you don't see the main character?
Just blending.
He just behind a letter. Where's Waldo head ass? What are we doing?
So think about a bit of color that's going to bring this to life. Point 4, how long are you going to play for? Now, every band wants to play for as long as possible, but is that the right thing? I would say no. When you are on a slot of maybe 2, 3, or even 4 bands, your job is to get on, punch people in the face, metaphorically speaking, and then get off leaving wanting more.
Nah, literally, you got to punch these folks in the face.
All right, the baby.
Wildin'. You ain't please don't do that. You ain't getting invited back to no more shows. Valid point. What do you feel about that, Jay?
I do agree. And this is tough for artists, myself included. It can be a little sensitive.
Yeah.
That song that you know is a banger.
You trying to get that off.
Look, you probably got 50 of those, right? You don't.
The reality sets in.
Look, even some of the biggest artists in the world can't go past 20, 30 minutes tops. Make sure the music is people are engaged, people stay focused on you.
Facts.
And if your music can't do that, or you haven't found a way to make that song that maybe isn't a hit, but you know how to make it engage with a crowd, if the song doesn't have either function, it shouldn't be on your set list yet.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way myself. So.
God, and then let's not even talk about, I mean, he doesn't talk about this, I don't believe, but I can only take myself. I've been to, I can't even count how many shows I've been to as an artist and as somebody who just watched the shows. You rapping over your lyrics is already a headache. But you know what? Because I understand why certain people do it, I give you a little bit of grace only because I understand you've performed at a lot of shitty venues. And the only music that sounds clear at those nights is when the DJ's spinning. So you thought, oh, what if I just played my song and rap over it?
Yeah.
It still sounds terrible, but it sounds better than somebody whose mic is all jacked up, muffled. They got no kind of microphone etiquette. But with that said, I'm not about to watch 25 minutes of you rapping and doing karaoke over your own.
Look, that first karaoke song you do, if it's a banger, I'm gonna let you live and go. He didn't have the performance cut of
you
that.
You don't got that, but you wanted to get that off.
Yeah.
You're promoting after all. You're a product. Got it.
What's next?
Again? Are we still on that?
No.
You know what? That's the guy I'm gonna slide this contract to you.
It's time.
It's time. You know what? You're the exact person I've been looking for.
He's vulnerable.
20 minutes, 25 minutes. When you start getting into 30, 40, 50 minutes, people are going to get bored and they are going to end up at the bar.
I knew that when I was sitting at that I was sitting at a Green Day concert at the height of probably their career when Boulevard of Broken Dreams came out. I walk this lonely road on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I'm seeing them perform this in the stadium. And mind you, phones at that time weren't what they are now. It wasn't like I had all that kind of access like it is, but I found myself with all the pyrotechs, the fireworks. At one point, I was just like, we really just sitting here watching people like play with their instruments. Pause. Play with their instruments, and I'm just like, after a certain point, this goes for anything. This happens at a Laker game. I love basketball. Lakers are my team, but I feel like I'm more tapped in at home because I'm watching from a different point of view. But at the game, like, you get popcorn, you know what I'm saying? The time passes by. After a time, it's like, I don't know how many times I can hear these sneakers screeching at this game. I think I want to go home.
Absolutely. There's a reason everything has a time limit. There is a reason. Retainment is very important.
Man, Punch, just get those songs off. You are likely to remember somebody so much more if they make a big impact in a shorter period of time. Because then you're like, yo, the fuck? When are you performing again?
If you have five guaranteed hits, right?
Yeah.
And you came out and you performed 10 songs.
Yeah.
How's that person going to feel? Reset.
Sheesh.
You have 5 guaranteed hits. You come out and you only performed 4 songs that night.
Maybe even a snippet of one of them, too.
Who's going to pursue you after that show? Which crowd?
Talk about it.
It's a big difference.
That's good.
So get on, smash it up, make it look awesome, and get off as quick as possible. Punchline.
You don't got to run off the stage.
I didn't know what you was laughing about, but I couldn't hold that shit in. I said, get off as fast as possible. Hey, get off fast as possible. It's wild, insane, but I get what he's saying. Imagine just running off. What's that anime? I don't know anime like that. What's the one that go like this?
Naruto?
No, Naruto. You just run off the stage like
Your song, it just ended.
You run before the curtains close is crazy. Hey, yo.
I'm Jake, sorry.
I'm out of here.
Yes, we love gigging, and yes, we love being backstage and chilling with all the bands, but this is work, and you need to squeeze the lemon. You need to make use of every second of your time to create content while you're here, to network, to look after your fans. Don't just chill out backstage, go on stage, play, and then fuck off home again. That is not good enough.
You're talking a little bit too loud again, bro. Here's where I'm a little bit torn. I want to get your point of view on this one, Jay. Like, when you're, I guess, one of the headlining acts, part of that kind of like short and sweet to the point, like when you're doing a show, part of that is sort of an illusion that you want to give, that if you're too accessible, it's almost like I already got my fix.
Absolutely.
I've been talking to you all night long. I've seen you.
I'm gonna watch half the set. I'm out.
Now, like, I feel like I got to talk to you and I got the show. So I feel like there's a weird balance of not trying to be Hollywood, not trying to be standoffish, because I would love to talk to every single person that came out to show support.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you have to be strategic about it because it becomes less special.
You have to.
In this era, especially with social media access. So I do find myself backstage, but then there's a part of my brain that's like, bro, you should be getting your ass out there and getting emails.
That too. Both are true.
How do you make sense of that?
So for me, I don't have a big following. So for me, I know the fans by name or face that I need to interact and engage with, and the ones where I go, who are you?
Right.
And not going to engage.
Sure.
Not. But as things grow and scale upward, it definitely needs to be a thing of, who are my high tier fans, my mid tier fans, and my casuals? Right? 'Cause there's no low tier fan.
Sure.
And that's when meet and greets come into play. That's when, if you show up to the venue at 7, I'll be there 7 outside. Let's chat it up. I'm going to disappear until 11 p.m. You know, things like that. You should not just be walking around the crowd once you're at a certain magnitude or scale. You shouldn't be,
bro. And
that's just dangerous.
I fight exactly, especially when folks know, like, you're literally giving the coordinates to where you'll be.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever had an issue with you or saw something they didn't agree with, you're giving the coordinates. So it's like, you got to be strategic. You got to be smart about it. Now he's obviously talking to bands. I think, unfortunately, as it is, us as rappers, hip hop culture is a different energy sometimes. But I get what he's saying is that you don't want to just be back there just like forgetting there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, but there is an illusion effect that I think you got to think about.
You have got an opportunity, in fact, you've got a lot of opportunities on every single gig to work, build your audience, build your reputation, and give people the message of who you are all the way through the night. Point 6, that first 30 seconds when you walk on stage is absolutely crucial to give people that first impression of who you are. Now, what bands tend to do is they tend to take people on a journey, culminating in it getting bigger and bigger, and then they finish on their big song. And that is because that's what you see when you go and pay to see massive bands. But if you're Muse, you've earned that right. People have traveled from all over the country or all over the world to come and see you play when you're a massive band. They paid their ticket and they are not going. They are there for you until the end. Now, when you are a support band or when you're one of 3 or 4 bands playing, you don't have that luxury. So your job is to get on stage, and in that first 1 minute, you have to make everybody shit their pants.
I mean, he's not lying. He's not lying. Shit your pants is crazy, but it's true. I think we, as rappers, bro, I don't think I've ever met a group of folks that are more delusional. I love rappers. I love my rapper peers. I love it, but that includes myself when I say this.
Yeah.
I have said some very delusional things in my teens about this, like of what my vision of myself was. Sometimes to kind of like, I guess, overcompensate for a lack of real confidence. But when you see these folks that come out and they're wasteful with their first impression. I can't get another first impression from you.
Look, you know, and I know, when you're in a small venue and the first song don't immediately go up.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, I'm out.
Yeah, we gotta.
How long's your set? I'll be back in.
But 30. See, I think that's the value of having a DJ too.
Yeah.
It's like, shout out to my homie Disco. Whenever I would see that happening at a show, I would look to him and be like, we got to pull out the big guns early. Like that beat that we have that like goes from my beat to like a Tribe Called Quest beat. This crowd is not rocking with trap tonight. They need a more boom bap set. So let's make that pivot. But a lot of artists, bro, they get up there and they get so wasteful with time, and I think they forget the way that they receive information based upon how they give information. Yo, what's going on? What's good with y'all? As he said, you know what I'm saying? My name is Sean Sauce, whatever, like, you know, that's my boy over here. And over there, that's the other homie. Like, he ain't rapping tonight, but I just want to make sure I acknowledge them and shit. Shit, we got merch and shit over in the corner if you need that. Shit, what else? We on Instagram and shit. Like, what's your ad? Say your ad in the mic.
You giving a better intro than some of them give.
What I'm saying, like, think about all the information I tried to give you right now. Nigga, I don't even know if I like you. You want me to connect on all your social medias in the first second? You haven't shown me. It's almost like YouTube when they say, go ahead and hit this video with a like. I don't know about that.
Give me a minute. That's like when they like, you got an option to tip there. I haven't had the food yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Let me kind of sit with this decision.
Yeah.
Let me make that decision, actually.
Right.
Nah.
Drop what they're doing and say, who the fuck is this band? They are amazing. So don't leave all your best stuff until the end. I would recommend going on with it, even to the point where you might want to write a riff or write a song specifically for that opening track.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. He's talking about bands. Fam, I feel like, bro, I feel like as rappers, we underutilize because we don't recognize how much freedom we have. You could literally, like on a live stream today, I could jump in here, make a beat at 12 noon, make a beat, make a hook, make one verse, and perform that shit the same night. I don't have to have my band rehearse it. Nobody has to understand, okay, what key is that? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, I didn't like the way this transition was. Bands have, I guess, a slower process because there's more steps involved.
Yeah.
With us, from creation to delivery could be the same day. So somebody could have literally watched you make the beat. That's the era we're living in. Somebody could have watched you make the beat, make the song, and then show up to the show the same night to see it performed. But once again, we too stuck on trying to get high budget videos and do the shit that the traditional industry tried to show us.
Backwards.
What other ways do you think they can take advantage of that?
Look, man, I'll keep this very simple. You got one chance.
Right.
We know from the old Common Ground days where it was like, look, all we ask is you come up, peep the first song. If you don't like it, you can go kick it outside with the other 30 people.
You're going to do that anyways.
And people walk up, and I kid you not, I have watched people walk up. The dude gets on stage, starts talking. They're like, all right, for sure, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I definitely agree. Figure out what your song is. It's trial and error. I'll give you that. It is trial and error. You will have shows that flop. You will have shows where you don't keep the same crowd retainment.
Right.
But make sure you figure out what works.
Yeah.
If nothing works, Re-engineer.
Re-engineer. I love it. Okay, but you gotta, man, absolutely take advantage of the time that you have. I think we think 15 minutes is a lot longer than what it is. You're not about to fit 10 songs in there. North, I'm sorry that your wife finds my voice annoying. It's not changing.
So when you walk on stage, you are giving everybody what they want in that first minute.
Get some headphones.
You are summing up your entire
Come on now.
band
Easy solution.
and what you stand for in that first minute, because that first minute is where people will make the decision whether they like you or whether they don't like you, whether they're going to stay or whether they're going to go. So make it an important minute and don't leave your amazing songs until the end when people have probably either made up their mind or already left.
Yeah, they probably already left. Hey, probably already left. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about that.
Point 7. Who are you? Now this is a crucial thing, and I see bands fuck this up time and time again. When I go and see a band and I don't know who they are, so you want to say your band name 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times all the way through the gig. The beginning, the middle, the end. This is crucial because this is how people are going to find you on social media, on your website, on Spotify. They can find your music through your band name.
Think about how many drunken folks are at that venue that you want to remember details. They may not even remember how to get to the toilet at home to throw up that alcohol. You want them to remember your album title, your song coming out?
The music will speak for itself, Curtis.
Head ass.
Y'all know the song.
Y'all know that. Hey, y'all know this shit. No, we don't. We've never met you before.
Yeah.
So, yes, we take. But think once again, bands I feel like have it a lot more challenging because they got to rehearse all these things into a set.
Yeah.
When you got a DJ, fam, your DJ can push a trigger button on Serato.
The flexibility is different.
DI wires, Curtis King, and he can get that off. He said 10 times during a set. I could do it 10 times during one song. You gonna know who the hell I am by the end of this.
Every time that hook come around, Curtis King.
You gonna think the name of the song. You gonna think, why he keep performing the same song, Curtis King?
They hear the real song and go, where are the drops at?
I don't care. You're not like we get so much more flexibility, but it's almost like imagine being Mario with the star, but you're too afraid of your shine to do anything with it. That's how I feel like as independents, we have so much freedom, we become more restrictive about what we do.
Yeah.
And that's an example of it, I think.
And the audience isn't always engaged. So just because you've said it once, what happens if someone's in the toilet, or they've gone to the bar, or they're chatting to their mates, or they didn't quite hear what you said, or just as you say the band name, there's some noise because the guitarist has rung out a chord. So you want to be getting that message home again and again. And
I'm punching my guitar player. If you play an out of chord key while I'm introducing my name.
You getting subbed out. You staff.
My name is Curtis.
Go get your black shirt.
Take your ass out there. You doing social media content tonight.
And again and again and again. Point 8, covers. Should you play a cover? Now, I'm a bit wary of unsigned bands playing covers because when most people come and see you, they might have seen you play once, they might have never seen you play at all, they might have never heard your music, and they're listening to it for the first time. Now, when you drop in a world famous song that everybody knows, it's very easy for that to then show up your material as weak when it doesn't have to be. So I'd be a bit careful. But if there's a good reason for you playing a cover, if there's a song that really sums up where you're coming from and where you're going, especially if you've taken a song and you've made it into your own, and you can think about those great cover songs that people have taken and they've transformed that song into something that you'd think that they would write and release, then fair enough. But on the whole, I would stick to covers bands playing covers, original bands playing originals as a rule.
So obviously this doesn't apply to us. We don't really do cover songs as rappers, but I do feel like when we kind of like take we kind of take from the mixtape era, when we take an instrumental that's popular and it's like, this is going to get their I've seen rappers start their sets off like,
yeah,
all right, y'all not going to pay no attention to me. Let me throw on this DaBaby beat. And then all of a sudden you're like, something about this combination has got me interested. Somebody that I'm already familiar with, and somebody that feels like somebody new.
You said it earlier, relatability.
Relatability.
A fan of DaBaby just realized, you're a fan of DaBaby?
There's a lot of connections being made.
Yeah.
When you think about it, isn't that kind of the DNA of one-hit wonders? In that it's a little bit of familiarity mixed together with something that feels like it's like new.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the opportunity that they get with you when you're rapping over something, or even a producer. When you're doing a beat showcase and you decide to do a remix, and it's like, what you know about that? What you know about that? You know, what you know about like Black, like a Black remix of R&B, the singer Black. And you're like, yo, that's crazy. I never imagined him over a trap beat like that. I think you could absolutely connect with folks who otherwise wouldn't want to hear you rapidy rap.
Yeah.
Or just hear instrumentals in general.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cheat code.
It's a cheat code.
Point 9, fronting a band. Now, as someone who does this 150 odd times a year, this is very, very...
He said he performs 150 times a year. Famous 365 days.
Every other day he performing?
This is the person to get the information from.
He has seen it all.
This power stance comes a little bit too easy for him in them jeans, bro. It's crazy.
important. And my best bit of advice is giving clear, key statements and not trying to wing it and be inspirational or funny on a gig.
Hey, watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth, bro.
Why you hating?
Hey, inspiration is part of my brand, bro.
Because coming through these big speakers through a microphone, a lot of the time people can't understand what you're saying. But when you come out and you give clear statements of what you want people to do and who you are, that is a winner. So I would literally come out and at a certain point of the first song, I would say, I am Damien Keys. Whatever your band name is, you can insert that. But I am Damien Keys.
I am Curtis King. So what? Start a show off like that, and that stands right there.
You got to summon Exodia or something. I don't know. He look like he on some.
I'm Curtis King. I'm here. Ain't nobody asked for your ass. Who are you? Imagine opening up for another artist they came to see. I've had that. My first show was a pay to play, and there was one of the artists that brought in a bigger audience, and their fans waited until I had a song with no drums, just piano. And they were like, boo, put on the Goonies. They started to chant. It was so loud I couldn't hear the music I was rapping over because it was just piano. My boy's playing the piano live. I thought we were doing something.
Oh my goodness. He hit you on the, oof.
He waited until all of them, he's like, let's wait till it calms down a little bit. He looked like somebody that's going to rap over some piano. He waited, he said, and it's not like it was a big room. It's like I'm standing here yelling at you from this distance.
Oh,
put on the Goonies. All right. I ain't had no power stance for that one.
I need you to know that. The next thing I might say is, I'm on social media, facebook.com/Damo Keys or youtube.com/Damien Keys. I need you to come and join me. Or we've got a single, the single is out today. I need you guys to buy the single here on iTunes. You are giving people statements and telling them what to do. Now, one thing that I would always recommend is that you say the same thing on every single gig.
Facts.
You don't leave it to chance. You say the same thing again and again and again. And even if you're doing that 100, 150 times a year, but you know what to say. And there's a reason for that, because you are going to say it in a certain way, in a certain time. The rest of your band is going to know what you're going to say and when you're going to say it. And it's going to pull the whole thing together. So don't talk, don't ramble, and don't tell jokes, because that's not the time. This is the time in your 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get clear messages across, to communicate to this audience with who you are and what you want them to do.
It depends on how many fireballs I had at that point. I might start rambling a little bit. So what y'all on tonight? What's your favorite drink? Like I might do that just to get a little engagement, but I understand what he's coming from, is that some people do abuse that. I'm sure I've abused it at some point in time, but what do you think about that point that he's making?
Look, I do think that some people genuinely have the charisma and personality to really just get up there and do their thing and exist. I genuinely believe that.
Right.
Most people are not that.
Yeah.
And the people who think they're that are usually the ones who aren't. So, look, I 100% think that people need to do the trial and error process and do a lot more of the smaller scale shows, figure it out. And whether you're in a band or you're a rapper, learn what works with connecting to the people, because that's the goal at the end of the day, right?
Right.
And nowadays, you're selling yourself more than you're selling the music.
Facts. Well, I got to drop a bomb for that one. That's
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah.
So don't just, I am Curtis King.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Because they're gonna look at you and go, you lost a fan.
They might drag your ass off stage after that point. Also, too, I know he was giving examples, but one call to action. One call to action.
Yeah.
I've made a mistake of like, oh, I gotta plug this. Oh, I gotta plug this. My thing is this: if I have to choose, I'm not leaving it to chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them.
What is the mission today?
Meet me at the merch booth.
Bingo.
Because when you come to the merch booth, that means that you have enough interest in what you saw that you want to know what else is going on.
They put some footwork in for you. Something
new that I started doing also was whatever my set list is, I make a playlist on all the streaming platforms that mimics that same playlist. When they say, hey, what song was that? Pull out a card with a QR code on it, and they get it. The playlist is right there. Add it right to their playlist. I think they're a lot more likely to listen to my music that way than if I gave them a business card or if I hopefully gave them a CD or they bought a CD and they don't even have a CD player.
Yeah.
Right? How many times have those become frisbees? So I think it's important, one, call to action, and then also, how can you maximize that? I think one way you can maximize it is when people meet you and they shake your hand, they look you in your eye, and they're like, you're just as genuine as a human being as you are in your music. You can get a lifelong fan from having that kind of interaction. And also, too, when they come to your merch booth, I'm about to buy one of those super cheap Fire tablets just for emails. You know what? I think what's even better than asking me that, what if you just put your email in and tomorrow morning I deliver all these things that you need tomorrow morning to everybody who's on this email list?
Yeah.
All my socials, those are practical things that can be done instead of just leaving it to, I'm going to just give y'all my Facebook. Yeah, I'm not remembering your Facebook. All it's going to take is one person stepping on my sneakers on the way out the venue. And I'm going to have a different night. Or somebody saying something crazy to my wife. I have a different night now. I'm not remembering band 2 of 20 that night. Here's the last tip.
Point 10 and my final tip, what to do once you've finished playing. Most bands go backstage and start congratulating themselves and talking about what went right and what went wrong on the stage. What I would recommend is getting off that stage as quick as possible into the audience.
There you go again.
Check this out.
I'm out of here. If you fly off that stage like that.
Striking whilst the iron is hot. Whilst everyone has seen you, they've stuck around, they are here for you. This is an opportunity to actually get your message across further, to tell them about your single, to tell them about your next gig, to tell them about your social media, and to also to reward them for sticking around. They like you, they are here for you. So if you can get out there and say thank you so much, that is a big reward and a big payoff for them. So use that opportunity, don't let them go, and don't let them go cold. Get off that stage as quick as possible and start thanking people and actually giving them a message of what you need them to do next.
This next generation of rappers, hold on, let me drop the bomb.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Yes, independent artists, it is our time. But this next generation of rappers, we're going to have to clean up a lot of the bullshit these rappers have left behind on a mainstream level. I hate to say it. I know you don't feel like it's your responsibility, but a lot of fans of music have had very shitty experiences, and they've paid a lot of money for those shitty experiences. And a lot of them see it as unfair that they had to pay for those shitty experiences, and rightfully so. So now they're going to take that out on you. Same way as like when you date somebody and they've had bad dating experiences, you kind of catch some of that energy until you prove that you're otherwise different. Artists, we're going to have to go above and beyond. I never forget. First tour I went on, 2013, with the homie Murs. He was the headlining act. He was the one that put it together. It was the paid dues tour for his festival. The first stop of the night for this 25 states, something like 50 cities, something crazy. 2 months. The first night, a fan of his walks up to me and says, do you know when Murs is coming out? And I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'm expecting him to stay in the green room. I'm at the merch booth, like, because we're the openers getting ready to go on. And he's like, all right, cool. Murs comes from around me and taps the guy on the shoulder and says, would you mind if I sign that for you? The guy turns around and the face he made, I've never seen somebody like it. The energy was so high. That's an experience he will never forget.
Yeah.
We're responsible for that now. That cannot be an exception anymore. That has to become the new rule.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge void right now where even if you look at some of the videos that have gone viral, hip hop fans haven't necessarily disappeared. They haven't gone away. It's just that they've been alienated by a lot of behavior that they don't rock with. As adults, they don't rock with. So I think there's a great opportunity for us when we're doing shows. When you get off that stage, and I've made this mistake when I was younger, I would never make it again. I'm shaking every hand of the person that walked up to the front because, family, you did not have to come. You could have stayed at home in the comfort of your bed, watched your Netflix. You didn't have to come to this show, but you came, and then you stood up in the front. Yep. There's a whole bar back there. You could have food. You came and watched me rap songs for 15, 20 minutes. Least I can do is shake your hand and say thank you. Have a little bit of small talk. What's your point of view on that?
There's no other moment like that moment you finish your set that you can replicate anywhere else.
Why is that so special?
You're getting the organic moment of people's feelings, how you touched people, how you didn't.
Right.
After a set.
That's true.
I've had shows where I got off the stage, people that didn't talk to me all night.
Right.
I didn't even know they were there. I'm like, yo, man.
Yeah.
That was special.
Yeah.
Give me that dap, that hug. I'm sweaty as hell. They still.
Bro, that's the last show I had. Bro, I was the UCR show. I was drenched in that flannel, and I was trying not to be rude because that's where I got to plan better. I was like, I got to bring a towel with me because, bro, I was so drenched. I'm gonna hug one of these folks, and I'm gonna go home with them. Even though I'm physically going to my house.
Yep.
They're going to take a piece of me with them. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They're drenched. Look it right at the camera. But it's true. Like, we have to figure out how to strike while the iron is hot. Like, if I'm seeing you and you make an impression because of the songs you're making are fire, they're elite.
Yeah.
Cool, but who cares?
Look, this is a temperature check. If you get off that stage and you get less handshakes than you've ever gotten before, it happens. It's going to happen.
I've gone through that.
It's time to reevaluate, rethink the process. What did you do right? What did you do wrong?
Yeah.
Was the sound off? Was it the set list totally different than last time? Did you take some risks? And evaluate and assess and move forward with it, but at least you came down and checked the temperature. Because if you turn around and just went backstage and went, another one.
Yeah. DJ Khaled head ass. Don't y'all make no jokes. Shut up.
Man. Look, there's no better moment than that moment right there. Genuinely. You're going to send the links out to people. People are going to show love, comment, like, engage. All that stuff's not the same as that. Person to person, they saw you give your heart. What did they do after?
I'm saying, and one last thing, that mysterious shit that artists used to be able to get away with, that time is over with. That time is over with. You, if you want to have an experience that you can feel, an experience that is authentic, an experience that can support your livelihood for a lifetime, it starts with your interaction at those shows where it may not be packed. It may only be 4 or 5 people. Stop thinking of it as only 4 or 5 people. Because those folks who are in this county, maybe one county over from a show 2 months from now, if you got those emails and you were able to email these folks and say, hey, I'm in your area. And they were like, you know what? The last show was kind of like, it was whatever, but he was the best part of the night. Oh, this is a bigger show and you're rocking with somebody else that I know. I'm going to come show up. Then when they see you on a bigger stage and say like, oh, so I wasn't the only one that thought you were dope. That's just unfortunate. Once again, that is human psychology. Some people have to see other people rocking with you on a level before they feel validated to rock with you. And that's just, you can fight it all you want, but that's just human nature.
Yeah.
So DIYers, those are our thoughts. Let me know your thoughts.
DIY.
Talk to us. So I want to make sure that we answer any questions that you have. I saw a few questions that popped up in the chat, but I want to make sure we answer them because it's a lot of tremendous value. It's a lot of great value in here because you're hearing from perspectives of 2 folks who have done this 15 plus years and have had these interactions. It's one thing to hear from somebody who's theorizing about the shit. But yeah, shout out to Damian Keys. That was a golden post right there. One tells another, then another, then another. That's how this works. Which is why it honestly confuses me why more people don't see it that way. Why they take it for granted. And I guess it's easy when you're up. Like when everybody sees you, it's easy to be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? They rock with your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm hot right now. And no matter what I do, I could disrespect somebody and still have that. How you treat people I never forget my mom said this. How you treat people on the way up is going to be the way that people treat you on the way down.
It's real.
Shit comes back. It comes back to you. Turn this music on in the background. Man, shout out to Jay. Can we give a round of applause one time to Jay for coming through here? How you treat folks on the way up is how they're going to treat you on the way down. Because I don't care how popping you are. Everybody has had a dark moment. Even Jay-Z had his moment where he was going to that case around the H to the Izzo, where he might have been, I mean, he over here stabbing folks. He might have been locked up, and we probably would have not seen the billionaire Jay-Z. One decision can change all of this. Think about DaBaby and how tumultuous it's been for him, bro. Talk about somebody who had literally, like, everybody was like, you got to pay attention to him. He looked like the next big superstar.
He was.
And a few very bad choice of words in disrespecting the wrong folks can definitely put you in timeout. Let's get some more feedback in here. Shout out to y'all too. Thank y'all for watching. Well, how are we gonna say that and not give them thanks for being here?
Hey, yo.
And it just run out.
Chick's eye.
It was dope, man. I appreciate your time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Courtney, for holding everything down.
Shout out to Courtney, always, every time.
Courtney, I appreciate you so much because you be getting rid of the folks on that weirdo time. I'm be like, what are you on, bro? Why did you choose this stream? Of all the streams you could, you know what? I should be grateful. You know what? You know what? I'm grateful. You chose of all the streams. You chose this one. You chose to be weird in this stream. Round of applause for you. Oh, okay, my bad. Oh man, big ups, you guys. Good discussions. I appreciate that. Make sure I get your name right. Jaeger. I was about to overpronounce the shit out of that. Always like looking at art, inspiring ways to charge up. Anybody knows how a lo-fi act can rock at just small shows and have a decent career. It's been done. Knowledge.
Just wondering if.
Oh, I don't know what the hell JW was. I'm a boomer for real. Just wondering if it's been done knowledgeably. What would you say?
I think you would have to probably be on a tour with multiple other people doing the same thing as you,
right?
And you probably have to create your own tour and sell out multiple small venues to do that. That's tough. That's very niche.
Or hear me out.
DIY.
Start your performances on a live stream. I know what I like. I have to keep this in mind. A lot of folks see my live streams and they come to me for advice about how to set it up. I'm like, I'm not the good model to follow. Not for your first one, because even my first ones didn't look like how it looks now.
Yeah,
it takes time. You build steps. You learn new things along the way, but you don't even have to go overproduce on this show. All you're doing is showing people. It's almost like the new EPK, or like your new highlight reel. Here's what it's like to book me. If you get some motion on Instagram, if you get some motion on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, or any of these live stream platforms, you're going to get booked for shows.
Yeah,
because somebody sees that and sees the money in it. Kato, I had a video where I reacted to where he talked about how after 4 billion views on TikTok, his beat sales didn't really change, right? Another part of that I didn't cover is what he said, in that the big benefit of it was all the brand deals that came. Walmart and all of these like Amazon, because they look at the numbers and they don't see the same metrics we see in the same way. They're looking at that and saying, yeah, they may not buy a beat, but they for sure are going to buy from Jeff Bezos. Right? They're for sure going to buy from Amazon. And so they know a different way to leverage it. Plus they have the ecosystem, they have the systems, I should say, to take care of conversions and getting the right people where they need to get them. So there's benefits in it. But yeah, do a live show with your cell phone, man, and then look at what you look like. That's the one time where you could do a show, wait till it's over and rewatch it and say, where can I improve? Right now is not a time that you need to be concerned necessarily about getting on a show. You need to be in a dojo. I don't care how advanced of any karate movie you see. I don't care how advanced the person is in their martial arts. They're always in the dojo or back in the dojo. So get back in that dojo, whatever that means for you, and showcase what you're doing and improve at it. And by the time it's time to get out there, not only will you be ready, but you can already show them what it looks like. Just run it up. Run it up. All right, we get a few more comments, and I gotta start getting ready for this next gig. Sounds like you have to have a way to get it online. Do you feel like the digital footprint is mandatory in that promotional aspect? This day? Who do you? Let me ask you this. I'm gonna reverse Uno this. Who right now do you support that doesn't have an internet presence? I'll wait. Who do you support that is getting traction, that is successful? Not your homie, not somebody that is just like cool around your neighborhood. Who do you listen to that doesn't have? Like, I think, once again, the labels, and I'm not blaming this all on them, but I think that traditional record label system has convinced us of overnight celebrity. It has convinced us of not really having to put the work in. Your life can change in 15 minutes. The reality of it is, as an independent, you're going to be reliving that 15 minutes every single day that you show up. Right? So you have to continuously show up, and you're going to see little traction sometimes. And then one day you may see a lot of traction. But even when you see a lot of traction, that just means you got to do more work. So get used to the long haul on this. And just think about you're not the exception to the rule. I'm not the exception to the rule. Yeah. I work harder than people that you would think that I could work a little less harder in what I'm doing. But it's like, no, fam, I'm not letting my foot off the gas. I'm not the exception to the rule. I don't care how efficient I am in certain areas. Have a good night. Gates Crope, I think it is.
Gates Crope.
Vexamillion says expand and grow. There it is. Even local artists get more traction in digital space than from local performances. Yeah, don't. I don't know about this one though. This is where I might have to. Hold on. Let me I'm gonna pause this one real quick. Don't treat this like no hustle. Don't treat this like no hustle, because hustle. People who treat it like a hustle burn out faster, and they get discouraged quicker too. When shit don't have motion, and if you're relying upon your emotion, which a hustle is very emotional, grinding. Somebody had to break it down. When you look up grinding, how can we've never made the connection? When you're grinding your brakes, what does that mean, Jake Asai?
Like tearing them up.
When you're grinding your teeth as you're sleeping, what does that mean?
Nothing good.
Right? You're almost deteriorating the foundation to a certain degree. So when you get there and you like, no, I'm not saying you meant it like that, deep thought, but the word hustle, it's associated with a lot of like, I'm not saying you meant it that way, but I think it's important. Words matter. Words cast spells. That word carries a lot of unhealthy habits, and I want you to be here for the long term. That's all I mean. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying just replace that word with something else that feels like longevity. Hustle feels like something short. Hey, yo, hustle feels like something that's short-lived. We're here for the long term. That's it. Music back on. Okay. Hustle sounds like a job you don't like. Nowadays, it can be bastardized. Ooh, Courtney with the bars one time, no. Hey, Courtney, chill. Hustle sounds like a job you don't like nowadays. It can be bastardized. Sheesh. I need you not to be so loud with all that truth. All good. The deep thought. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I gotta have a lot of inspiration. Yeah, I have a lot of inspiration for music right now. That dojo life. Get back in the dojo. Don't look at your studio, your home studio. First of all, don't let nobody else who ain't never did what you do define what that room means to you. Cause folks will walk in this shit and be like, "It's your little studio." Demeaning. You ever had that experience? People walking in with your first setup?
Look, if I showed you images and pictures of my old setups,
right?
People, I'm in the studio. They walk in with, where is he?
Where's the studio at, dog? I'm in a room. I see the O's. I don't see the stewed.
Man. But look, I promise you, I called it the studio like I was a professional.
Fam.
When I tell you I had a little $200 monitor all-in-one computer, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And people call, where you at? In the studio.
You can't tell me no different. Hell yeah.
I'm in the stool right now.
Yeah.
Bed, TV next to me.
Next question.
This is the bedroom, really. Look, it's been the studio since I was like 16, so.
Yeah. And I think that there's a level of delusion that comes with it that we have to have in order to see this all the way through, because nothing about this makes sense. Nothing a part of this is a guarantee, right? I don't ever take this for granted and thinking that we're owed this. Truth of the matter is, if you're able to make $1 off of music, you have to understand how tremendously blessed you are, DIYers. This is not a promise. You chose music. Music didn't have to be your financial provider. Like, I had to be told that 1,000,000 times to understand it. Play it back slowly if you need to. Music doesn't have to be your financial provider. You could get a job. If money is your main focus, there's jobs out there. Probably less now, but there's jobs out there. There's things you can do on the internet. Don't think freaky. There's things you can do on the internet to get money, if that's your goal. But if you want to do this through music, you got to understand how fucking lucky, first of all, for you to be born somewhere where you're legally able to do that. 2, to have the resources to even, like you said, the 200 all-in-one studio. Bro, I can only afford the headset, microphone, and Radio Shack. That's my first mic.
My first mic literally looked like this TV remote, like this. It was like it's a little needle made of plastic, all plastic.
Yeah.
And no one in the family knew I rapped yet, so I had to keep it low.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you had them whisper songs with all the air in the background?
All
trying to get them bars
air.
off?
More air than I could hear in my ears. This mic found it somehow. I was like, I didn't even hear all that white noise.
You know how many raps I was hoping my grandfather didn't hear in the next room because I'm rapping on the patio? I was like, yeah, my name was High Demand. High Demand. Yeah. Timid ass raps. Yeah, baby.
Banging ass beat.
Yeah, baby, you know what I do with you, baby. What you need to understand, baby, I'm the man, baby. Y'all niggas ain't fucking with me.
Man, I have the conscious woke songs too. They're gonna realize one day that things gonna change. Whispering we need change. Oh man, down bad.
Y'all ain't got no confidence like me. I'll be in there in a second, Mom. Head ass. That for sure was me. Yeah. But we figured it out. You saw the vision, and if you're doing it today, DIYers, I know this shit ain't easy. I know being an independent artist is not easy. That's not what I'm promising. That's not what anybody's promising. But when you get a chance, don't forget that you get. Instead of saying, I have to go register my music, I have to go get my LLC, I have to start a label, don't forget, you get to do these things as well. Any last words that you got for these good folks?
None at all. Appreciate all y'all for kicking it with us, listening to the chat. Curtis, appreciate you bringing me to the platform.
So ain't the last time. This ain't the last. I'm gonna harass you now.
Yeah.
Now we for sure gonna have to make this happen again.
Hey, you say when? I'll
look,
be here.
Look, hey, yo, come on, bro. Yo, bro, we almost
DIY.
I'm not hitting that tag at all.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth.
No, at least once a month, bro. I think we should make this happen, especially if you find stories, because I know there's a lot of stuff that you share these stories with me sometime. Like, have you seen this? And I'm like, nah, thank you for putting me on to it. But man, once again, please round of applause for my guest, Jay Kasai. He will be back here again. If you didn't know, my guy executive produced. He executive produced an album that you may or may not know about. I gotta plug something real quick. Hey, yo. I gotta plug a product real quick. That was gonna be crazy. But where's it at? So, if you did not know, some of you have come into this environment and see me just as a reaction channel, right? And that's all cool. But I'm also an artist. I've been an artist for almost 20 plus years, artist and music producer, actively still doing the things that I'm talking about. With that said, I just got in the mail physical copies of my new album, DIY.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. So he executive produced DIY, by the way. He was here for the entire process, coaching me through it. Like, I don't know if that song gonna make it, yada yada yada. So if you want physical copies, not only can you do for $15, or you can pay what you want beyond that. Same thing. We got autographed copies. I know the screen is kind of cut off, but go to curtisking.bandcamp.com and you can hear the entire catalog, or at least the catalog that I'm gonna let y'all listen to. I tried to go back a little earlier, and I was like, I'm not that bold. Not yet. Give me a little time. I don't need nobody going to the page and being like, let's start with page 1. I was gonna hurt my feelings.
I had to go back in time and turn some of those albums into EPs. That was my solution. So I feel you,
bro. Anything you want to let these folks know about in terms of the products or your YouTube channel, all the things that you're building right now?
Yeah, absolutely. For content that's in this same realm, I'm big on creating a platform for fellow artists and DIYers as well. Jay Kasai TV, JayKasai TV is my channel. Please come through. We got a sit down with me and Curtis King. We got one with people that Curtis King associates with, like Stevie Crooks, who he narrated the album of. And I make music, and you can see all the videos there as well. So come tap in with me. Check out my For the Record series, my For the Radar series, all my music videos, and show some love. Give me a subscription.
Jay Kasai TV right here. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. A fellow DIYer, amazing at what he does, and glad that I'm able to share these thoughts. And y'all can definitely go to the channel and check out everything that's there. So, all right, I got another gig I got to get to, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all like no other. Of course, this video content is going out starting Monday. All 3 of these videos will be out. Thank you so much for supporting. I cannot thank you enough, because even though that I've been asking for your support in creating this performance room, honestly, your viewership, your engagement, your sharing got the ad revenue going stupid right now. And you're allowing me to do as my motto, do it yourself. But of course, it's not by myself. You guys are supporting, you're giving the super chats, all that stuff counts. All of it counts. I appreciate y'all so much. What was the question that you asked me really quick? You, Curtis King, you make any graphics? Oh, dang, I appreciate the DIY method. I make damn near 95% of all my graphics, with the exception of like the plugin. Shout out to the homie Nicholas Gray, who's done those. But 9 times out of 10, it's me. Music, all the videos you see, I edit those as well. I'll follow you. You got a directional masterpiece? Yes. Thank you for actually reminding me. Watch this quick ad. DIYers, exciting news. I'm finally building a live performance room right inside of my house. With your help, I want to slowly turn this room into a space I can give you live music performances, guest music appearances, and even more incredible content. But I need your help. Support this vision of independence through my Patreon at patreon.com/Curtis King. Together, let's step into the future of live music. All right, so that is for the Patreon. Thank you for reminding me, Just Juck. So, if you didn't know, I have to absolutely set this up, but DIYers, we now have a 24-hour independent radio station on my other YouTube channel called the DIY Music Network, and I want to share that with you right now because there's so many independent artists that I am coming in contact with.
When I typed in Just Curtis King, it came right up.
That's so weird. There it goes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the link. That was so weird. Why it does that? All right, they can't stop the DIY motion. So if you want to hear what folks in this community sound like, I highly suggest stopping by the channel. Drop some love in the comments and the chat. Let us know that you stopped by, or just vibe out with the music. Either way, I want to go ahead and share this with you. Check it out. If you have music that you want to share with us, definitely send us a whitelisted version of your music, which basically means it doesn't have content ID, or you've cleared this stream to play your music, or they're going to shut down the stream. We cannot have that happen. There's too many folks that are promoting their music on there, and being able to, it's obviously we're still building. There's not a whole lot of folks in there right now, but I want to make sure we continue to promote it. We just launched it actually a few days ago. Courtney says, please read the description. I emphasize, yes, because Courtney don't play with them details. The more you can do yourself, the more money you can save if you have the time. Yeah, that's the only issue sometimes as a DIYer, is that you can do a lot yourself. You cannot do it all. And unfortunately, most of us are DIYers not because we refuse to get help. It's because the help that we either had access to wasn't sufficient enough, or people just didn't believe. So they decided, I'm going to do it myself. That's how most of us become DIYers. But if we could get the help, you don't think we want the help? You see these bags under my eyes in a fashion statement? So absolutely go check that out. 24-hour radio station. The music on there is phenomenal right now. Shout out to the homie Thurs who gave us some exclusive music, which is that's crazy. Hopefully some music by Jay Kasai very soon.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay.
I was actually mixing it last night.
Yo, chill. My bad. That's like you sliding the contract on the table, bro. Oh, it's coming.
It's time.
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all, DIYers. I will be at y'all. I'll see y'all soon. And yeah, let's get to it. Can we add Riot Gear? Riot Gear.
Yeah, we could add Riot Gear. That's a record of mine.
Oh! I'm about to say. I was reading that in a completely different context.
You guys got to give me a second to whitelist it though. But yeah, I could do that.
Quick,
Easy.
It's a quick process, especially if you got DistroKid.
Yeah, it's on DistroKid. And to answer that question that was in the chat, if you want to whitelist a record, Scantless Beats, you can do it through DistroKid.
DistroKid.com/YouTube whitelist.
Oh, that easy. So yeah, that's how you do that. We'll add Riot Gear, and I have some exclusive stuff that's unreleased that I won't have to. I'll just send it.
There it is. All right, shout out to Courtney for doing that quick. Got some quick research right there. Shout out Courtney one time. Always. Can't do it without you, sis. Megas, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate every single one of you. Chris AK, Just Jux, Scantless Beats, Note Counts, Sid, Tyra. I'm going to see some of y'all on Sunday for the Patreon meeting that we always have on Sundays, a Zoom call. But thank you to every single one of you that dropped by, shared your thoughts, and just hung out with us. This was fun. Cut 'em more. It's good to see you, fam. All right, I'm going to see y'all very soon. Here goes the outro. Peace out. DIY. Okay, how rude of me. Go ahead and say it. Peace out to them.
No, I just like to throw a little camera cue. That's all.
I'm sorry. I'll be
Adios.
Rude. Peace.
No, you good.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Go on and let the people know that you enjoy what you're seeing. I'll see you soon. Peace.